It is UC Davis's last series as a member of the Big West Conference during the regular season, and we could not have asked for more. The Aggies playing their most important series maybe in years as they play host to the University of Hawaii with just about a week to go in the regular season. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. I'm Greg Wong. Scott Gordon over here, Bob Dunning to my right, and Scott, let's start with UC Davis. It's simple, then it can get complicated. The simple thing first, though, they have to sweep Hawaii, and then they have a shot to make it into the Big West tournament.
Well, you want your last series at home to actually matter, and it absolutely does. For UC Davis, if they run the table, they're 24-24 overall, but if they sweep Hawaii and go 15-15, they have an opportunity to play in the conference tournament. And then after those 3 games, so 3 things need to happen. They need to win all 3, and then they do a little bit of scoreboard watching, but they have an opportunity, which is what you want.
Meanwhile, for the Rainbow Warriors, they are in the field, though they haven't clinched a spot. Lot of seating still up for grabs, and Bob Richhill, never a guy shy of the camera, and he's hoping to lead this Rainbow Warriors team back to the postseason. They made it a year ago as well.
He was actually looking for some place to surf at Pewter Creek, I think, but he couldn't find it. We're talking about the 2 hottest teams in Big West baseball right now. Hawaii's won 4 in a row. The Aggies have won 5 in a row. So they are the 2 best teams right now. They don't show it in their record. Hawaii is 13-11. It is just as important to Hawaii to get into this tournament at Irvine as it is to the Aggies. The Aggies have to sweep. Hawaii doesn't necessarily have to sweep to get in there.
Aggies need to win probably 2 out of 3 to avoid mathematical elimination, a sweep to get realistic chance for Tommy Nicholson, and would be the pinnacle of what has been just a continued ascent for Tommy Nicholson with his program, Scott.
Well, first of all, he's a phenomenal coach with a great pedigree. Played at Texas, coached at Stanford, and look what he's done in his 5 years. First year was hired in December, went 6-35. Right now, he's got this team with a ton of injuries, 24-24, with an opportunity to go to the postseason. Tommy Nicholson and his pitching coach, Zach Thornton, right there, have done a phenomenal job with his team.
It's UC Davis, it's Hawaii, it's game 1 of a 3-game series, and it's coming up right after this. Well, what a beautiful day for baseball. It is warming up. Hawaii brought the weather with them for this final trip for them of their Big West careers, because UC Davis, ironically, is ending with Hawaii for their final series as a member of the Big West. Both of these teams are still going to be conference foes. It'll just be in the Mountain West Conference next year, and the scene is set. Scott Gordon, what a series, what a day we have. Aggies know what's in front of them. They know they are in playoff mode now. They got to win every game of this series to have a shot entering next week to make the conference tournament, and it all starts with his right-hander, not Noel Valdez. It's Grayson Bonanno, no doubt making the biggest start of his young career.
Yeah, UC Davis has had to make some adjustments to the pitching staff, obviously, with their normal Friday starter being unable to go. They've had to go to Grayson Bonanno, but they're very comfortable with him. A couple weeks ago, the Aggies took on Long Beach State in what they thought was kind of a must-win situation, and they pressed a little bit. We had a chance to talk to the players today, and they said the game that really got them out of their funk was going down to Stanford, being up by 1 run against Stanford, having an opportunity to win. Then they go beat Cal, and the next thing you know, they get a sweep of Cal State Fullerton. And that really, when we had a chance to talk to them this morning, the 3 players we visited with all said they're much more relaxed. They know what they need to do, but they're not taking as much stress or anxiety into it.
Yeah, it's quite an adjustment that they made, Bob, and Tommy Nicholson was very frank with us that he highlighted a couple different turning points. Kamana Nahaku is the leadoff man for Hawaii, and he will face Grayson Bonanno. And Bob, we'll talk about this more when UC Davis comes up to bat, but they really had a unique and different approach to batting practice over the recent weeks, and it seems to have paid off for them.
Absolutely, and I'm glad we have a Hawaiian name for the first batter, so everybody knows who we're playing.
Nahaku, Hawaiian name, but he's from Auburn, Washington.
Well, it's okay.
Okay.
But he's playing the part, like Central Casting. I agree with Bob.
Okay, good. He certainly has the tattoos to show for it, and Nahaku out of Auburn, Washington, transferred from Tacoma Community College. And he played at Auburn Mountain View High School, which you haven't been there, that is one of the prettiest sight lines out of any high school campus in the Northwest, because you can see Mount Rainier, the Cascade Mountains, and it is just terrific scenery.
Is there any bad scenery in the Northwest?
Only when it rains. But other than that, it's absolutely beautiful.
Just because there's no scenery when it rains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you were living there, obviously.
Yeah, right. Well, that was some bad scenery.
Now Haku gets hit, and that's how our ball game begins.
Had a chance to talk to Noel Valdez, and it's a forearm. We had initially had thought it was a shoulder. It's a forearm. Yeah, he said never had anything like that before, and he says he was throwing some, just some bullpen work, and just didn't feel right. He says still doesn't feel right, but he's thinking he really wanted to pitch tonight. But he says we got to win all three anyway, which is the same thing that Tommy Nicholson told me.
Probably figures give him an extra day to rest, maybe two, but they'll definitely get him out. There's no doubt we'll see him on this weekend.
So Bonanno gets the start. He likely was going to start on Sunday anyway with no Keenan Anzai. Here's Tate Shimau, who is leading off, or is batting second for Hawai'i, and Shimau is maybe the hottest hitter in this lineup. Ben Ziegler-Lamoa on deck, the veteran. He's one of their leaders. And then batting in the cleanup spot, we got a guy that has as much talent out of any hitter in the Big West, and that's Manalau Kong. He's a big guy, pretty intimidating presence in the box. He is in that fourth spot. But these teams pretty similar. In fact, that's what Rich Hill highlighted in terms of how they win ball games, because Hawaii's offense has gone through a lot of ups and downs this year. They have gotten hot of late. They're playing their best offensive ball of the season right now, but it is all about the pitching for Hawai'i, and same for UC Davis.
The final game against Fullerton last weekend, late in the game, Noel Valdez was in the bullpen. And I said, were you just throwing? Or he said, no, I was hot. I was ready to go, and they were ready to put me in.
Yeah, it's anybody that can go. And that's the Aggies are trying to do.
Fly ball left center, and there is Kai Molt, who has been absolutely stellar defensively. Tommy Nicholson said he's the best defensive center fielder in the Big West, even in his brief time as an Aggie. He makes the catch, and there are the first out of the game with Nahaku still at first base.
But he also said that it wasn't always that way. It took a while to get used to this big ballpark, to how much faster the ball comes off the bat, et cetera, et cetera. But I know if I'm batting, I'm not hitting the ball anywhere near center field.
Yeah, he was saying that the outfielders, different spin rates, different tracking, but he's done a great job. That was a huge out for Grayson Bonanno, by the way. To get that number 2 hitter out after hitting the first pitcher, finding the strike zone a little bit more.
Yeah, Tommy was impressed by the way that Kai, who remember this season, he started as an infielder, as a third baseman, and it's difficult in center field because the reads are a lot harder in college than high school. Different angles, different exit velocities that you have to get used to. Obviously, lots of room in this ballpark. Here is Ben Ziegler-Namoa, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you better be able to catch the ball on the run, on the dead run.
And we've seen that with Kai Malt quite a bit. We get to see the blonde hair with the hat going off, and he's covered a lot of ground.
Runner goes. This is whipped the other way into the alleyway, base hit. Malt is able to cut it off, but good base running by Nahaku. He never stops. He can run, and he gets to third. And Ziegler-Namoa now has a hit in 18 of his last 23 games.
And Rich Hill he's down there as the third base coach.
So Ben Ziegler-Namoa with the base hit. And now here is Manalau Tong with 1 out. Well, as he said, they are treating this game like a playoff game on both sides. Rich Hill has not announced a Sunday starter. Now, the expectation is that it's going to be Brody Martin Gridzelanek, but the last game he was warming up in the bullpen at the end of the game, and Rich Hill said, well, I'm coaching every game like it's the 7th game of the World Series, so who knows how this series is going to unfold.
They're trying to avoid playing in that 4-5 game, as we talked about at the Open, and one way to do that is give yourself an opportunity to have an extra day off by winning as many conference games as you can over the next week.
So Bonanno in some early trouble. First and third, one out. The 4-5 seeds in the Big West tournament have to play a one-game elimination game to be the 4 seed and enter the field. So you want to avoid the 4 and 5 if you can. This is pop foul backing out of play. Now Hawaii last year, they won not just one play-in game, they won a de facto playoff game at the end of the year because they played the game that decided the 5th spot in the conference tournament. Them and UC San Diego, just by coincidence, the last game of the Big West year was also a battle between the two teams tied for 5th. Base hit left field off the bat of Manalo Kang. And it's 1-0 Hawaii, and it does not take long for them to get on the board. And with who we know is coming up on the other side for them pitching, it maybe won't take that many runs to get them enough help.
It was a great at-bat right there, 2-strike hitting. They saw the Aggies had the corners up. They were playing at double play depth in the middle, and he just pulled the fastball right into left field to score the run. And now, obviously, the Aggies still with just 1 out, runners on first and third.
Of course, Hawaii's, people think, well, if Hawaii sweeps, they're in. Well, everybody except the Aggies still has 3 more games after this series to play. The Aggies will have finished their season by Sunday, all 30 games. Everybody else will be at 27 games. So everybody else has still got a lot of baseball to play before anybody can say we're in.
Wow, scoreboard watching next weekend.
Yeah, Ben Ziegler to Moa goes first to third, by the way, and now the bunt. And we're going to see a lot of bunts with Rich Hill at the helm of this Hawaii ball club. Yeah, the Aggies are the only team that will not have a conference series on the final, not technically weekend, but de facto weekend of the year. The Aggies are going to play Wednesday through Friday series against Cal Baptist. Every team has to play one non-conference game during conference. There's a shallow liner into center, and Molt just plays it up on a hop. Now he did at least hold up Kong, but the throw to second is just a little late. Nice deke job by Molt. A run scores, and it's 2-0 Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, everybody held up.
Well, you kind of had to the way Malt went after this. It looked like he might get it. He got it and then threw it, and they almost had a force out at second base.
I'm not so sure they didn't have the force.
Close.
Real close. Real close.
Whether he knew he was not going to catch it or he actually did attempt to make a dive for it or until the last second, I'm not sure, but it almost worked out for them. However, it is another hit. Well, so it's Nishida with the hit, and it's 2-0 Rainbow Warriors. Go ahead, Bob.
When you're doing the scouting report, you tell your runner, your base runners, especially after what happened last week with, or I guess it was Tuesday against Sac State. Terrible base running. Don't assume anything about that center fielder because he might fool you and double you off.
Well, I do think if the umpire was on the other side, this might have been a closer call as we get the other side. That's pretty close. I mean, it's hard to overrule that, but nonetheless, it was a good play by Malt. But Grayson Bonanno just had a visit from Zach Thornton, the pitching coach. He's trying to calm his sophomore down because he's given up 3 straight singles, and obviously they want to get some outs.
And, of course, that was a force at second base.
Yep.
Taylor Takata is the hitter now for the Rainbow Warriors.
The runner from third held completely. He almost didn't come home.
He only came home because they threw the ball to second base.
Right.
You're exactly right.
Goes to the breaking ball that time. Bonanno, mainly a 2-pitch guy. Fastball, slider. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. This guy that was heavily recruited coming out of high school out of Torrey Pines High down to the San Diego area. And he pitched briefly his freshman year, but he got hurt. And so that injury kept him out of action. And so he really does not have very much experience under his belt. But when he first came to Davis, Tommy Nicholson was frank that this guy was the most talented arm to come to the school during his tenure. Now redshirt sophomore. Little low, 2-2.
He's doing a really good job of working the ball on the count. I think Zach Thornton coming to the mound could see he was a little rattled. You give up back-to-back singles, you fall behind 2-0, but he's now challenging batters. He hit the first batter of the game by a pitch. He fell behind 3-1. He's now getting ahead of the batters.
Takata with a flare. Malt was playing in, and he's there to make the catch. That's nice positioning by UC Davis, and there's the second out.
Yeah, that one it was going to drop if Malt wasn't playing it just perfectly.
Yeah, great scouting. He knew exactly where to be. A couple of the hits, that's where they've dropped in. Good job by Zach Malt. There's the defense that will go behind Grayson Bonanno, Braden Woldridge, Kai Malt, Tyler Howard. The infield is Story McNeil right at second base. Ethan Felix over at first. Ryan Lee will catch.
Here is Noah Rodriguez, and he takes a little high. So now Bonanno trying to limit the damage. Do want to note that the base hit by Manalau Kong, it left the bat at 112 miles per hour, which is one of the hardest hit balls we've seen in this ballpark our season long. That's a little low.
You see the major league home run? Hit the top of the foul pole. They made it sound like it rested there, and I don't think it rested there. It just hit the top of the pole. The very top.
Yeah, the very top of it, yeah.
It's a fair ball.
Fair ball.
It's called a fair pole, right?
Don't get Bob started on that.
All right.
There's a slider away, and it's 3-0.
Somebody on the Athletic was trying to determine what were the chances, and you had a better chance of landing on the moon. Nobody's aware of it ever having happened in Major League Baseball.
Of a ball staying up there?
Yeah. But I don't think it stayed up there, though.
Yeah.
That's a strike. You know the old story of Gaylord Perry, of course, Bob, when it was just a few hours into the day before the game and they were at batting practice. His manager was Alvin Dark, and Alvin Dark and Gaylord were talking, and Alvin told him, we are going to have a man on the moon before you hit a home run. And then Neil Armstrong took the step a few hours later, and then Gaylord Perry hit the home run.
That's great. Yeah, Alvin Dark was kind of he should have been in the prediction market.
Yeah, he was the wrong era.
Yeah, wrong era completely.
A man before his time.
Yep.
Aggie's got a great opportunity here. Full count. Runners will go. 2 outs.
Fastball misses the inside, and the bases are loaded. So Rodriguez walks, and that'll bring up the Lincoln native, Jake Reddick. And Sierra College product.
Good challenging pitch inside, trying to get him to go after it. That was a really good take that time by Rodriguez. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Aggies be very fortunate to get out of this inning with just giving up 2 runs.
This guy has started almost every game. That's so rare for a catcher. But Redding, and I was seeing some number 12 Hawai'i jerseys in the crowd, as you would expect.
Yep.
230 batting average on the year. And he hits a ground ball towards the middle. See if McNeil can scoop it up. He does with the glove, and the flip is just in time. What a major out to get the Aggies out of the jam. 2 runs due scored for the Rainbow Warriors, but it could have been a lot worse.
Great play here by Elijah McNeil. Running over and get it, flips it in. But Hawaii goes up 2-0. The Aggies coming up in the bottom of the first.
Up, which has been playing better. We've talked about some of the adjustments that they have made, especially to their batting practice routine, and they have their work cut out for them today against a pitcher that last week almost pitched a perfect game and had one of the best starts out of anybody in the country all season long. So it starts with Zach Story, Tyler Howard, Kai Maud, Elijah McNeil clean up, Ethan Felix, the reigning player of the week in the conference, Jackson Murphy, who's red hot, 3 hits his last game, Ryan Lee finishing out his career, the senior, another senior, Woldridge, and then Joey Wright rounding things out. The final senior in the lineup, and they will face Isaiah Magdaleno, and this is all he did in his last start. 9 shutout innings, 1 hit. It was an infield hit with 1 out in the 9th. He had 16 strikeouts.
No way.
13 of those came in the first 5 innings.
You're making that all up. That's and then he struck out the final batter after Riverside had runners on first and third with 2 outs. He struck out the final batter on 3 pitches. But oh my gosh,
perfect game through 7 innings. That's incredible.
Into the 7th, 6.1. But yeah, that's There was a controversial call during that game that would have ended the perfect game in the 5th on a hit-by pitch that they said the UCR player did not try to get out of the batter's box. And that kept the perfect game going because it flipped from a hit-by pitch into a strikeout. But still, look at that line, and lots of awards that came in for this guy. And the pitch that the Aggies are well aware of is not his fastball. He's an 89, 90 mile per hour fastball thrower. It's the changeup. One of the best in the nation.
107 pitches, only faced 30 batters.
That's incredible.
And most of those came in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
With all those strikeouts.
Yep.
That little 220 from Crespi High School down in L.A. where they recruit heavily. Excuse me, Bob.
That little short to second play to end that last inning not just saved one run, it might have saved a whole bunch more because the bases would have still been loaded.
They were going on contact, too.
Takata makes the throw in time. Story is out. There's one out with a 2-0 Hawaii lead here in the last of the first. And that'll bring up Tyler Howard.
Nice crowd here today. We learned about Hawaii having fans everywhere when we went to the Big West basketball tournament in Henderson, Nevada. Nobody had as many fans as Hawaii had for both the men's and women's.
It's weird. Everybody wants to travel there, but they want to get off the island and see some other parts of the place. Probably go to Vegas.
Howard with a slow roller. More work for Takata. Howard can run. Takata's throw just in time, and quickly there are 2 outs. Well, you know what they call Vegas, Bob. You always mention this.
In Thailand. It's the other Hawaiian island that has more. It's no city, I think, in the world has more people, native Hawaiian people, than Las Vegas.
Taylor Takata there with a great 6-3 put out. So they're doing a good job so far in the pitch count. He's only Magdaleno. You don't need to give him any extra things, but so far he's only thrown 5 pitches.
Well, as you would expect, lots of green in the stands. There are a couple natives of Northern California on this Hawaii team. Rich Hill, the head coach, has a ton of ties to the Northern California Central Coast area. Malt hammers the first pitch deep down the left field line, and it's off the wall. Nishida plays the carom. Malt just clobbered that at 105 miles per hour, and it's a 2-out double, and the no-hitter ends early this go-around for Magdaleno.
You know, I think Hawaii probably scouted that the Aggies are working counts and, taking pitches and just tried to get over with looked like an off-speed pitch, Greg, that was right in the zone, and Kai Malt absolutely jumped on it. So very quickly with 2 outs, the Aggies have a runner on second base. And, Bob, the other night the Aggies scored all of their runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, there weren't a whole lot of runs scored in that game, but still, yeah. That's why you have 3 outs.
Yeah, they got all 3 of them with 2 outs, and Elijah McNeil had the first RBI.
And here he takes the curveball for a called strike. McNeil, the freshman, batting .261, and Tommy Nicholson, it's been him and Jackson Murphy. Those 2 have been working the earliest and latest out of anybody on the club, and it has paid off in the stat column.
Well,
columns.
They've had their eyes on Elijah McNeil since day one, expecting big things out of him.
And even Rich Hill said they had their eyes on him, recruiting a lot of the same players. He's like, I really like that shortstop. We go after a lot of the same players, and Elijah McNeil has had a heck of a freshman year.
There was the changeup, and McNeil's first crack at it. He can't connect. That's always so tough when you see it for the first time. Malt's at second. It's 2-0 Hawaii with 2 outs here in the first.
Yeah, but Tommy Nicholson was saying they open things up at 2 o'clock for people who want early work, and McNeil's one of the ones that goes there.
That's poked foul.
Good job of staying alive right there. Off-speed pitch, punching it foul.
Well, that new approach we're talking about, the Aggies tweak batting practice to where it's much more hands-on. The hitters are giving basically self-reports of how they think they did during their batting practice sessions. And so it gives them a little more evaluation. We have a timeout, and this is our first, but certainly not our last signal to the Hawaii dugout of this series. Rich Hill and the rest of his staff, they are known for making lots of comments.
You know, when you look at the Hawaii baseball website, the official website, and then it says go to coaches, and you get the bio of Rich Hill. It says click here to see a video of him surfing.
Got him with a changeup. 16 Ks a week ago today. And that's his first and his first start since. And they strand Molt at second, and it remains the Rainbow Warriors 2 and the Aggies nothing. Taylor Worth is the new pitcher for UC Davis, so I'm sure they wanted some length out of Bonanno, but a 30-pitch first inning does him in. He faces 7 batters and allows 2 runs on 3 hits, and it could have been more had it not been for Elijah McNeil's glove flip at short to Joey Wright. So 2-0 Rainbow Warriors in what's a must-win game for the Aggies, game 1 of 3, and now they hand it over to the freshman Taylor Worth, who's been good this year in relief for Zach Thornton and Tommy Nicholson.
Yeah, 5'11", 162 freshman out of Coronado High School down in San Diego. So I think with this pitching situation the way it is right now, they might have to go with Bonanno maybe on Sunday for an inning or 2. So you figure you get 30 pitches in with them. Wasn't exactly what they wanted. They wanted to change things up, as essentially they'll have 9-1-2 to start off this inning. Hawaii.
Tommy Nicholson told me before the game they were hoping to get 4, maybe even 5, or even 6 innings out of Bonanno.
I think that was both to preserve the arm for potentially later this weekend, but I'm almost positive there was some sort of pitch count per inning that he had either come close to or eclipsed, and that's why he's out of the game, because you're right. He was not expected to be somebody that was one and done. He was going to give them starter's length today. So here's Josh Martin. He is the 9th place hitter, only man that did not hit in the first. Martin, one of those local kids, and by local I mean Northern California. He's from Novato, played at Santa Rosa JC.
What a beautiful campus they have at Santa Rosa JC.
Good breaking ball. That's his best pitch, the curveball.
You know, the Hawaii coaches have to make the most of their trips when they're over here. They send out half the staff to go scout and watch, and obviously they do a lot of that in the summer times with the travel teams and whatnot, but that's why they have so many players that are also within cities where the conferences are.
Struck him out with a curveball, and the throw to first is in time, and a nice start to the outing for Taylor Worth.
Hey, young man, Santa Rosa, that's a nice town. Novato, that's a nice town. I would like to come play baseball in Hawaii instead of here at the Valley of the Moon.
Well, I've heard that it's pretty nice in Honolulu, so I think that's part of the sales pitch.
Yeah, it actually rains a lot.
It does.
But it's about 90 degrees when it's raining.
But they have some pretty good
the water's
beaches.
about 80 degrees, and the beaches are pretty nice.
They had some pretty serious flooding in the last month in Hawaii.
Here
it
is
just kept raining.
Nahaku, the leadoff man, and he takes upstairs. He was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the first.
There's one place in Hawaii, that not where the tourists go, that averages 400 inches of rain a year.
Well, my daughter was supposed to go to Hawaii, as we see a swing and a miss there, on spring break in Kihei in Maui. The road in front of where they were supposed to stay actually had a landslide and went off. I mean, there was no way to go. It was really treacherous for the people on the island of Maui who already suffered that fire a couple years ago.
Yeah. In fact, another hit by pitch.
That's twice for him now.
Which, for Nahaku, that will not make him feel good. He's hit around the same place, too.
Yeah, you end up with a double disaster when a place like Hawaii with the fires or with the floods, it ruins the tourism for a while.
Absolutely.
That's your number one industry.
Well, you got to obviously keep things up, and the Grand Wailea, one of the prettiest resorts on the island of Maui, on the Wailea side, was actually rained out. People could only fly out. They couldn't fly in there. So those are the types of things that the University of Hawaii does deal with sometimes that, is not reported.
By the way, not uncommon for Nahaku to get hit by a pitch. He has now been hit by a pitch 16 times this season, 15 a year ago, and This ball is on one hop to short, but the runner was taking off, so only chance at an out for McNeil is on to first, and so Shimao is out. But this guy coming up, Ben Ziegler Namoa, he is from Lahaina, and so it was his area in Maui that really took a lot of damage in that tragedy a couple years ago. So, he is hit very close to home for him.
Yeah, Lahaina. That was tough, that whole area. Even where they play the Maui Basketball Classic had to be moved, and you saw what happened with the water issues with the Century Golf Tournament, and the PGA's now moving away from Hawaii. It's been a lot of they've taken a lot of tough shots.
It's one of those states that there's a lot of hometown pride. A lot of these kids want to stay in the islands and play for the University of Hawaii. But then again, you got kids 18, 19 years old, and they say, hey, it's kind of small and it's kind of remote. Hey, maybe you want to go play in California.
Line drive, McNeil grabs it before it hits the dirt. That ball was also just tagged 111 miles per hour off the bat. And there's probably some smoke coming out of the glove of Elijah McNeil, but he hangs on to it anyway, and Hawaii strands one. Is a shared love at In and Out, so that's why we had that big applause for the In and Out giveaway. Meanwhile, here is Hawaii's defense playing behind Magdaleno. They didn't have to do much in the last game for their ace, but this is how they shape up.
Nishida in left, Nahaku in center, Ziegler, Namoa in right field. Josh Martin is the first baseman, Noah Rodriguez second base, and the very active Taylor Takata was the shortstop. Tate Shimiao is the third baseman, and behind the plate is Jake Redding, all supporting Isaiah Magdaleno, who got through the Aggies in just 4 hitters in his first inning.
Did allow a double, so there will be no perfect game or no hitter today, as Kai Malk got a ringing double. Here is Ethan Felix. So already we've seen exit velos of 111, 112, and for those not familiar with that still new stat, that is upper, I'd say 95th percentile, maybe more, in terms of batted balls. There's a slow roller, and Shimao throws out Ethan Felix, and he's out quickly.
That's an excellent play with a third baseman there to come up there. That was a slow bounce, caught it, elevated the throw. Good stretch over at first base by Martin. Again, 2-pitch at bat. Watch this come up here. Great job. Gloves it, gets it out very fast. Good stretch over at first base.
Now Jackson Murphy. When we talked about some of the turning points of this ball club for UC Davis, one of them they highlighted was the team dinner they had at the Jackson Murphy household. He is from Fresno, and when they played Fresno State, they stayed overnight, and the entire team went over to the Murphys, and I heard from sources that they had an excellent tri-tip, among other great food that night, and Tommy said that just really seemed to further help this team grow and gel and just relax, because it was literally every single player on the team that was there.
And they just come off that 3-game series at Northridge and took the bus over the Grapevine and ended up in Fresno.
And Tommy said it was perfect because that last loss to Northridge really stung him, and to have the opportunity to spend some time together as that one's fouled away.
And then to get a win at Fresno.
And they beat Fresno State.
Murphy hit a home run. That's when he really started to catch fire, and he has not cooled off since.
Fresno are not quite as fearsome as they've been, but there have been a lot of good baseball come out of Fresno State.
Oh, there was many years in the early 2000s where they were kind of perennial, trying to head into the College World Series discussion.
They won it once.
Yep.
After placing, I think, 5th in the WAC.
Yeah.
Winning the conference tournament and then going all the way.
Full count from a guy they call Mags for short, Magdaleno. Again, just the one walk his last outing, along with a 16 Ks. Here's a pop-up straight up the chute. Redding has to battle the sun and the wind, and he stays with it.
Cannot believe they let the catcher catch that. 3 guys could have caught it. You don't want the pitcher catching it either, but third, first, that's You get that big clumsy glove. You got all that equipment on.
He didn't even throw his helmet that far away, Bob. Usually they do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
he
really
had
toss it.
he had the worst angle of it.
Yeah.
The third baseman had it coming in, first baseman, and he's the one that, makes it adventurous, but makes a nice play.
And all it has to do is hit a little off center on your glove with that big catcher's glove, and it's going to fall.
Lee pops it up. It's into shallow center. Nahaku comes racing in. He's still coming in as the wind knocks it down, and finally it falls into the glove, and that will retire the side. So the Aggies go down quietly. 2 fly ball outs and a grounder to third, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Magdaleno. Still 2-0 Hawaii. UC Davis. At this point in the year, I'm not sure how many people thought they'd still be playing meaningful baseball, especially with how things ended against CSUN and then Long Beach State. It started with a win against Cal. Really, it started, as Scott said, with a very close loss to Stanford. Remember, that was coming off the game where they had swept Florida State Stanford, and Rintaro Sasaki hit a walk-off grand slam with them down 3 runs. And the very next day, the Aggies almost beat them, and in their mind should have beaten them in extra innings. Then they beat Cal, and they have not lost since.
Well, they had a 1-run lead going into the 9th, a 1-run lead going into the 10th, and then Stanford scored 2. So there were a couple of chances to put that one away.
Yeah, the Aggies have won 6 of their last 7, 5 in a row, and they thought they could have had that one, just playing decidedly different baseball than they were just a couple weeks ago.
Confidence.
Manolau Kong digs in against Taylor Worth in his second inning, and he hit the first ball he saw 112 miles per hour for a base hit. Drove in a run his first time. Here he fouls it out of play. So they had the win against Cal the next day. Then 2 days after that game against Stanford. Then they swept Cal State Fullerton. That was the major surprise, especially when they were down big in the later innings. Came back to win that first game.
They were down 5-1 to Fullerton, and they scored 5 in the 8th to take the lead.
Ended up winning 11-5.
And look, we have a lot of time to talk about the different scenarios. It is both simple and not simple for the Aggies, but the simple part has to come first. They basically have to sweep the Rainbow Warriors this weekend, and if they do, they do have a real shot to make the Big West tournament, but they don't have almost any room for error.
And even then, if they sweep, which they have to do, they got a nervous weekend to see how everybody else does.
There's a lot of scoreboard watching after that.
Into center for Malt, and he will be called off by Braden Wooldridge, and there is the first out.
Well, the hard part is when you're trying to pass more than one team, and the 2 teams ahead of you are playing each other, which means somebody's going to win at least 2 games. It's hard to make up much ground there.
Tell you what,
Go ahead, Scott.
Excuse me, I was going to say, Worth has come in and done a pretty nice job. He's retired 4 of the 5 batters he's faced, and I think the key is he's getting strike 1 and strike 2, something that Bonanno struggled with in the first inning. So if Worth can give them a couple innings, this would be huge for UC Davis with where they are in their pitching situation.
This was 2-0 with the bases loaded, 2 outs. There was a hard hit grounder up the middle that McNeil flipped with a glove to second just in time, and you think if that play wasn't made, how more out of hand this could have gotten. Instead, it's still just the 2-0 deficit, and you know what they're going up against on the other side with Magdaleno.
That was a true flip. There was no time for him to get the ball out of the glove.
I saw one the other night that cracked me up. The first baseman picked it up, got it, couldn't get out of his glove, so he just threw his entire glove with the ball over to the pitcher covering it. It was the Angels.
I think that's the old, I want to say Terry Mulholland did that when he was a Giant, flipped the entire glove to first base.
Here, take it all, everything,
Yeah.
glove, ball.
There's no 2-glove rule.
No, there's not actually.
Does it have to be the opposite hand mitt?
It's just got to get there.
And the ball has to be in the glove.
Yeah, right.
Here is Nushida, and he grounds it towards the hole, base hit to right field. 4th hit for the Rainbow Warriors.
1-2 pitch, left it up in the zone. Nice piece of hitting that time. Didn't try to do anything special with it. Just found it opening between first and second base. So 1 out, and they've got a base runner on with the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up. A good job of just finding an opening there. Good 2-strike hitting that time.
Situation for Hawaii is more of a sure thing that they're going to make the tournament, though they still have work to do. They only have a 2-game lead on the team on the outside looking in. That's CSUN, and they play CSUN for 3 games to wrap up the year at the less. But they're 13-11. They're tied for 4th with Fullerton, and they're 1 game back of UC San Diego for 3rd place. And as we talked about in the Open, the 4 and 5 seeds have to play a play-in game, and the top 3 are already in the double elimination bracket.
Well, the best thing that could happen to Hawaii is, in addition to sweeping, is for CSUN to lose a couple of games.
Gives them some length and separation.
Yeah, well, it gives you more separation than CSUN can make up, because they'll be 4 games behind with 3 games to go.
Just missed, 2-1. Taylor Takata. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, he just flew out to center field his first time at bat. Kai Malt had 2 outs. He created that inning.
Runner goes, and a beautiful hit and run hit to exactly where Joey Wright was. He still gets to it. He's taking off the third. Nishida, Wright with a cannon, and it's called safe. And you see the Aggies, they think they had him. We don't have replay in this ballpark, so this is going to stand pending any conference after the fact.
Rich Hill called it first.
And they agreed.
This is a great play by Joey Wright. It's a hit and run, and the thinking would be, I'm running towards first base, try to make a play there, but he turns around and throws it all the way to third, and I don't think they thought he would get there in time.
Boy, that's a beautiful swing move to get out of the way of the tag, because he was out if they get it on him originally.
That was a great
the interesting
slide.
thing is Joey Wright threw before he could have turned and seen that the guy was going to third.
Well, that's good communication by everybody on the diamond, and Joey Wright did that all in one motion, like that was the design, and he's got a missile. Both of the middle infielders can really let some throws go.
Talk about a rally killer that would have been.
That's an amazing throw by Joey Wright.
It really was.
Yeah, literally, it's running towards the first base line, turns around and throws a dot that really, without a great slide, would have been the second out of the inning.
And if it was a ground ball without the runner going, it could have been potentially a double play.
Yep.
Probably at least would have been the 1 out. Double play would have been tough, but because they forced Wright over to second, that opened up the hole on the right side. Now they got a contact hitter up like Takata, Noah Rodriguez fouls it away.
Middle infield playing double play depth. Elijah McNeil and Joey Wright hoping they get a ground ball. They can help out Taylor Worth.
Wright coming in about halfway at second. And now a throw to first.
Just 1 out. Runners on first and third, a chance for Hawaii to try to extend the lead. The Aggies would love to get out of this one.
Look out, and did that hit his hands? He's arguing it hit him in the right hand. Are they going to say foul or hit batter? It looks like foul. And the on-deck hitter, Redding, is coming up, but he's going to have to go back to the on-deck circle. Rich Hill now is going to make his case. Again, we do not have replay here. This is one of the last series we won't have replay in this ballpark. It's coming next year, and Rodriguez trying to at least do some acting if it didn't hit him.
Rich Hill saying, look at his forearm, look at it.
Look at his hand that he had over there.
I mean, look, if that hit him in the fingers, that had to really hurt because it squeezes up against the bat. He's getting checked out by the trainer.
Yeah, Rich Hill said, go see the trainer.
It's so tough to tell.
It is tough to, and sometimes it's almost simultaneous. You get hit and it hits the bat.
Well, and you go to grab it and move it back because you're supposed to have your lead hand just behind it. And so when you go to pull it back, watch what he does with his top hand.
These are so tough.
Watch this.
He's blowing a bubble, too. A lot going on.
Real hard to tell.
And
Real
they
hard.
are conferencing, and they're going to say it is not a hit by pitch. It's a strike because it hit the bat in the eyes of our umpiring crew. And Pablo Bustamante, Eduardo Ruiz, Javier Cantus, Sid Aguilar, they all knew what was going to happen in this series. They knew they would have plenty of conversations with Rich Hill. And
did you see Noah Rodriguez? He walked up and showed his right hand to the home plate umpire. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. I don't know. Yeah, by the way, did you see my hand?
I don't know even if we had replay that would get overturned because we didn't have a look. That said one way or the other. Lee with the block. And that's key with the runner at third.
Yeah, I was just watching one college game where the ball rolled almost to the pitcher. And you go, well, if it hit him on the hand, it would have just died. It hit the bottom of the bat and apparently hit his finger that was wrapped around the bottom of the bat.
Double play ball to short. McNeil to right's got to rush the throw, and he gets it there in time. Just what the doctor ordered. 6-4-3, and the Aggies out of the jam.
Elijah McNeil again, a phenomenal play. 6-4-3. Aggies still trail by 2. So Rich Hill and Tommy Nicholson recruited Elijah McNeil. They really liked the freshman from Dublin, and this is the reason why. First and third, only one out. Great turn. McNeil to right. Great stretch by Felix over at first, and the Aggies get themselves out of a serious jam to keep this just a 2-run game.
How good has this infield been in this first third of the game with both Joey and Elijah McNeil? I mean, maybe the best play of them all. It didn't even result in an out. The Joey Wright throw to third. And McNeil has made at least 3 putouts over there, and they have not been easy.
Somebody tells somebody, hey, I play college baseball, the first thing they say is, oh, what's your batting average? You know, and how about a new stat called RP, runs prevented? He's already prevented, well, for sure 2 we know of, but that first inning, he could have prevented 6. He could have prevented 7. Who knows what would have happened?
Well, they were just about to come around to the batting order. They faced 8 hitters. You're right, Bob. And the other thing I love about Joey Wright going after the runner at third is it shows the Aggies are ready to play aggressive. They're not just playing conservatively.
That's not
turn around and flip and throw the ball.
It's not a low-risk throw.
Not at all.
Because that gets by the third baseman. It's an out. I mean, it's a run.
Yep.
Yeah, and even the double play. I mean, that prevented a run. There was a man on third.
Yep.
So Hawaii scores the 2 runs, 5 batters into the game, but the Aggie defense has been able to shine and keep it at just the 2 runs. And again, with the way that Magdaleno has been throwing of late, they're going to use all of those prevented runs they can. Wooldridge, that does not happen often. That tells you how much that changeup just disappears. And that is a rare strikeout of Braden Wooldridge.
Rich Hill says it's hard to see it coming.
A dozen strikeouts now in the season for Wooldridge, who has been a starter in the field most of the season. Can't hit what you can't see coming, am I right, Bob?
That's right.
I think Cassius Clay threw that one out, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali can't hit what you can't see.
That one was a little more painful than just a strikeout.
Yeah.
That was a knockout.
That's the old Mike Tyson. Everyone's got a plan until you take one right in the face.
Here's Joey Wright. Magdaleno also, you see, he pitches exclusively from the stretch. He was their closer last season. And you always wonder with guys like that how they're going to settle in late in the year with all these innings most of their career. But Magdaleno had a bumpy few starts in a row before that amazing last start. There's a fly ball to left center, and it sends Nahaku back for the second out.
Well, he's just very efficient on the mound. You know, the interesting thing of this is they're playing against each other in the Big West right now. and then they all go in about mid-June to different parts of the country and play. And a lot of times these guys end up on the same team with each other.
Yep.
And they play in the Cape Cod League, or they play in Florida, or play in Arizona. So they'll probably see a lot of these two guys on both these teams playing with each other.
Here's Zach Story. Second time the Aggies get a look at Magdaleno's stuff.
Now retired 6 straight Aggies after the double by Kai Malt back in the first inning.
Pretty good college baseball league up in the Northwest as well.
Where are you a fan of? Walla Walla, Portland Pickles?
The Walla Walla Sweets, I like that one a lot. The Corvallis Knights.
And that is the pitch that the Aggies are going to have to take tonight, and it looks like he's got a good one. That changeup has been located well, and it's 1-2.
Had a chance to go to a Cape Cod League game. That is a pretty neat place to go watch some baseball.
And that's the cream of the crop for collegiate summer league ball. Invite only. Like a lot of that area. There's a pop-up to left. Takata called off by Nishida. And Magdaleno settling right in. Just the one base runner. It was loud. It was a double by Kai Malt, but that has been it so far. Just one over the minimum through 3. Of the season, lots of fans wearing green, whether local or not. Bob, what we got here? What kind of birds we have up there?
I think those are mourning doves.
I would agree. And what kind of food was that?
You are. Those are morning fans because they're behind 2-0. That's a baseball.
The shattered baseball.
Wow, really good.
Look, that's a great, look at that. The ball's coming out right between an opening in the net.
That's artistic. That's our guy Stanley on the handheld camera.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice work.
He was also the one that was bothering Rich Hill during pregame. You saw that in some of our footage during the Open. Rich Hill was smiling for the camera. We are fans of Rich Hill for life because of how great he is to talk to about the game of baseball and about life.
Yeah, we talked to him Thursday, and just so generous with his time. And he got a lot to do. They got a pack, come over here, and looking ahead to a long flight. He's just so generous with his time. Spent a lot of his younger days in Santa Cruz, Saratoga, Watsonville.
Well, he's very fond of this area, Bob, because it brings back some nostalgic memories for him. Like you said, he's has a lot of family, grew up in Saratoga, and when they went to Tahoe, he said it was always a thrill. They would make sure to stop at the Nut Tree in Vacaville before it was a mall.
Yep, back when it was the Nut Tree, and it was legendary. Legendary for a lot of reasons. Used to be some high-level business meetings among people at that place. They had a wonderful luncheon menu, and they had a train you could ride. They had their own airport. People would fly in to have lunch.
Bob, I have one for you.
Yeah.
The founders of the Nut Tree, they went to UC Davis.
The Nut family.
Yeah. They went to UC Davis.
Yes.
That's where they met. Do you know what class they were taking where they met each other, the two founders? There's a fly ball to right. Did that fall on the line? It did not. Just to the right of the chalk, apparently. And so this is a foul ball off the bat of Reading. All right, yeah, Bob.
I would guess they were taking a viticulture course.
I'm going to say close. It was a tree cutting class.
Tree cutting
class.
Probably like a pruning class, probably.
And so they met.
All those almonds and walnuts and every fruit or nut tree, there's got to be pruned. I don't know
the Power family. Yeah, the Power family.
Yep. And it was in the family for years. And then it sat idle for a while, and all this beauty, it had beautiful grounds, and it was just all falling apart. Nobody was pruning anything. Nobody was mowing the lawn, and finally it got taken over, and it's just a mall.
For me, Bob, the Nut Tree is synonymous with outlet malls, but it was not that way for
a long
years. Time until around the mid-'90s. Reading gets jammed and pops it fouling out of play.
Yeah, Now there's so many stores there, it just kind of gets lost in the whole spot. But it's good to see Mason Lerma coming on here, the junior from Cardinal Newman. Taylor Worth did his job for 2 innings. Did not give up any runs. The freshman from Coronado gives way to Mason Lerma.
Full count.
They say Joe Alioto, the mayor of San Francisco, used to have some high-level meetings there. That and the milk farm right down the road outside of Dixon, which the sign is still there on Interstate 80.
Yeah, the nut tree in Vacaville, that's about 15 miles away. I'm sure Jake Reddy's been there plenty of time, and he's done this plenty of times too. Happy homecoming, Jake Redding, deep over the left field wall for his first home run as a Rainbow Warrior.
3-2 pitch. Mason Lerma just challenges him, and Jake Redding just turns on it. Got a lot of power behind it, more of a line drive out. Braden Wooldridge tries to get his glove up, but this was long gone. And the Rainbow Warriors take a 3-0 lead.
So you can hear the entire city of Lincoln cheer for him.
Yep.
Jake Redding with the home run. He went to Sierra College, transferred here to the Rainbow Warriors. He started almost every game, and look at the reaction. That is all strength. That's how they make him in the great city of Lincoln. And Rich Hill said he recruited Jake Redding when he was back home for a visit last year, was driving through the Sacramento Valley. And one of his former players is the head coach at Sierra College, as Martin bounced it foul.
Well,
and that's how they got the recommendation.
The head coach of Granite Bay just won his 400th game. The reason you bring that up is Granite Bay, Rockland, Whitney, again, all part of the Sierra Foothill League, one of the most athletic leagues in all of California. Folsom High School, Oak Ridge, Jesuit High School is in there. Daniel Susak was the quarterback, who's now playing for the Giants.
There are a couple of Susaks that came out of Jesuit.
Yep, Daniel was the most recent one, played quarterback, and obviously played baseball at the University of Arizona, and now he's up with the Giants.
There we go. It did tie into the game this time, though, so we did get the Arizona reference before anything Bob has brought up about his
No, we
alma
talked
mater.
about his favorite. Does Corvallis count?
Nahaku into center. Yeah, that's the
Corvallis.
second. That's the second alma mater with that school.
I said Corvallis Knights.
Yeah,
I
you
did
said
not
the
say
Corvallis
the Corvallis
Knights.
Okay, we're still waiting on it. Malt makes the catch. By the way, that home run hit 100 miles per hour off the bat. And again, Redding's first of the season, first in a Rainbow Warrior jersey, and he does it about 40 miles away from where he grew up.
Mason Lerma settling in a little bit. You're going to need to get a couple more innings out of him as well.
Tate Shimau continues to stay hot. Man, Hawaii is lighting up the exit velocity numbers. That left the bat at 103, and that's a two-out hit against Mason Lerma. And again, this game for UC Davis and for Hawaii, but more so for the Aggies being played like is a win or their season will be over next week.
Yeah, and Tommy Nicholson told us they like to swing. They aren't going to take us a whole lot of pitches with the bat on the shoulder.
They like to swing and they like to create action with Rich Hill. Here's Ziegler to Moa, and there's a strike.
Got 7 hits already in 3 2/3 innings.
And really could have had a lot more runs.
Back in at first. Lerma could barely see that throw back by Felix because of the shadow situation. Nice catch.
The setting sun may have been in his eyes, coming kind of out of right field.
Well, Hawaii, they were struggling just like the Aggies before last week, and then, as a lot of Rich Hill clubs do, they were started to turn it back on down the stretch with a sweep against UC Riverside, and that is not the same Highlander team that we're used to seeing. They are pretty decent this year. There's a foul ball.
Hawaii played their first 16 games at home this year, and they play 4-game series in the non-conference. The teams go over there. They're not going to go over just for. They played Gonzaga played Wichita State, played Ball State, 4-game series against all of those, then opened with Cal Poly at home, and then played Chaminade at home. 16 games at home.
Well, it's kind of like in football. They're the only team that for years they had 13 games because it's such an expense for them, for teams to go over there and play, and for them to come back the other way. They want to bring 7 teams in. It really helps them financially.
They love to get players to Les Murakami Stadium where they can experience what is bad news for the opposition, good news for Hawaii, and that is what they call Manoa Magic. With that famed Manoa Mist. Yeah, I've seen games there, and it is beautiful. They average among the most attendance out of anybody in the nation. Lots of fans last week because they're also their men's volleyball team is playing in the postseason. There's a fly ball into center, and Kai Malt's there, and that will retire the side, but Jake Redding does the damage in the inning. Redding with the home run, the pride of Lincoln, former Sierra College product, and with his family in attendance, he knocks his first Division I home run. It may be odd to say, but it could be worse. Still, 3 runs a lot, especially considering who they're facing, Isaiah Magdaleno. And they got a looks at his changeup first time through, and that is as good a pitch as there is in the Big West. Look at some of the Little Leaguers we have here today. I think I saw they were the AAA Red Sox, if I'm not mistaken. Not the actual AAA Red Sox, but maybe future.
Talk about a pretty successful Little League program over in the state of Hawaii as well. They've won some of the Little League World Series. Actually had a chance to watch that live when I was over there with my family. A lot of pride in their baseball, no doubt about it.
Yeah, in fact, a few members of this Hawaii team, as there always seems to be, are former Little League World Series champions from Hawaii. Here's Howard, who takes a first pitch changeup for strike 1.
Yeah, Greg, you were talking about how the lead is, yes, it's 3-0. It could be worse. In the first inning, the Aggies got out of a bases loaded jam. And then in the third inning, there was runners on first and third and 1 out, and they got the outstanding double play by Elijah McNeil. But what the Aggies need now is base runners and hits. They've got 1 hit through 3 innings.
And his stuff, maybe not as good as it was last week, but it's still pretty darn impressive tonight. That changeup he is putting right where he wants it. That fastball, too, playing off of the changeup, 89 miles per hour. Howard fights it off, and he, like last game, has been just hammering the strike zone.
Well, the changeup and the fastball look the same coming out of the glove, so it's very difficult to pick up, especially with 2 strikes.
Just like that. Another strikeout, 3rd K for Magdaleno, and Howard goes down. And that is not just the pitch, it's also the location which he has had down to a T. I guess I shouldn't say down to a T because it has not been like hitting off a T for UC Davis.
It's a confident pitcher right there. You can tell 2 strikes, he's got a lead, and he's putting the ball exactly where he wants and forcing UC Davis to chase after the pitches he wants.
Only guy that has hurt him today, and that's Kai Malt, who blistered a double his first time. That first pitch curveball is taken for a strike.
And that just shows you how confident Magdaleno is, because that is the pitch that Malt hit into the left field corner. It was a curveball.
I was wondering if he would ever see a curveball again after that, and
yeah,
he shows it to him right away.
I was just telling him, I'm confident. I'm going to put the ball where I want to.
It's funny talking to Rich Hill, who said he's not a very superstitious guy, but once it got to the 9th inning, he had to ask one of his coaches, hey, should I start warming somebody up right now, or that would be bad luck? Because I do think he's approaching his pitch limit, though he was very efficient. No swing and a rare 3-ball count for Magdaleno. And he said, man, his coach responded and said, no, you can't warm anybody up right now, at least not in view. So he warmed a couple pitchers up, but he got them loose in the tunnel outside of the line of vision of Magdaleno. Malt crushes it, left center field. Nahaku back, so's Nishida right in front of the wall. He makes the catch with a little bunny hop.
Almost 400 feet just to the right of 385. Thought that one might make it. Yeah, it was a funny story the way he was telling it too. You know, he says we kind of got a tunnel under the stadium, and we made sure that, but ended up with runners on first and third. You better have somebody warming up in the bullpen. Of course, by that point, the no-hitter was already gone, but still, it's like we don't want to jinx them.
Well, a terrific play there, and that's what his defense was doing in his last appearance, even though they didn't have many balls hit to them because of all the Ks.
And unlike the first one Kai Malt hit, that one lifted and stayed in the air just a little bit longer. Nishida, great job of coming over, went all the way to the warning track, and it was a good piece of hitting. It was right off the hands, but all it is 2 outs, so now Magdaleno's gone 3 2/3, just one base hit so far.
And just one over the minimum. Now McNeil rolls it to short and scooped up there by Takata, and he just slings the ball over, and that will retire the side. Well, Isaiah Magdaleno now in his last 13 innings he has pitched, he's allowed a grand total of 2 hits, and he is through 4 shutout. Hawaii 3 and UC Davis nothing. And Bob, this is the last time UC Davis will ever play a Big West game in any sport, because the softball team just bowed out of the conference tournament yesterday late in the wee hours of the morning, and now UC Davis is going to be joining the Mountain West, and they're going to have company because the team they're playing right now, still in the Big West, is going to be conference foes next year with them, and that's the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see what's going on, and we're just talking about baseball now.
Manalau Kong takes low.
There will be other sports, of course.
Obviously, Hawaii, they are part of the Mountain West Conference in football.
Anyway,
yep. Aggies will still be in the Big Sky.
That'll be the only sport they stay in the Big Sky for, and everything else pretty much goes up to the Mountain West.
It's the only sport they've ever been in the Big Sky for.
That and Missouri
the batter.
Valley are two of obviously the strongest schools you'll have in the FCS level.
Good change up there, and Sac State, the team that is mostly in the Big Sky, though they are in the WAC for baseball, they are going to go to the Big West next year, and they're also going to the MAC for FBS football next season. 2-2.
I saw Northern Illinois listed there. I believe Northern Illinois is in the Mountain West just for football, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they moved in.
Don't believe they're going to be playing baseball.
Good change up, and the freshman Lau Kong is out.
Well, you still have the 2 Montanas. You have South Dakota State. You've got some of the other powers around that people don't get as much attention, like a Mercer, like Rhode Island. Teams like that, the Villanova, that are generally Tarleton State.
Yep.
Tarleton State is really serious about their athletic programs.
Well, it's in Texas, and everything in Texas is serious about football, and see that with Incarnate Word, where David Razor, the former Aggie quarterback, transferred to, and Tarleton State.
Of course, Illinois State, which came within 1 play of winning the national championship.
Tommy Rittenhouse, you talk about a great story, young man who was pulled the year before when the Aggies beat the Redbirds 42-10. Architected a pretty good offense for the Redbirds, taking them to the championship game.
Nishida with a ground ball to second. Wright comes in, and there are 2 outs.
Well, it'll be interesting with North Dakota State leaving and Sacramento State leaving. And let's be honest, Sacramento State may have struggled after Troy Taylor left, but when Troy Taylor was coaching there, they were the beast of the West.
Well, they're destined for greatness now because they have Alonzo Carter, who of course made his name at the great Berkeley High School as the football coach there.
There you go. And
where he coached
Yellow Jacket
prior.
and now a Hornet, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, he's got a stinger.
Howard on the move, still going by the bullpen, and it looks like he ran out of room with that slide.
Heck of an effort over there. Troy Taylor, former Hornet head coach, brought them to levels they've never seen before, and it
One
was every
Big
year.
Sky loss in 3 years.
Yeah, it was to Weber State at home. Other than that, last season he was there. They were undefeated. He is now helping out the UC Davis football coaching staff as more of an offensive consultant. It's a great ad for the Aggies because he's a quarterback whisperer and a phenomenal offensive coach. He was a former offensive coordinator at Utah, former offensive coordinator at Eastern Washington, and of course built Folsom up to be what they were as a co-head coach with Chris Richardson, who is on Sac State staff.
And let's remind everybody that before Troy Taylor, the very season before he took over, the Hornets were winless in Big Sky play. He goes 23-1 in conference play over 3 years. Unheard of.
2-1 to Taylor Takata. I imagine, in fact, let me just check the schedule just to be sure if it hasn't been announced yet, but Hawai'i probably is going to play Sac State a few times over the next few years now in the FBS.
I believe they're on the schedule next year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Timmy Chang?
Yep.
They're going to host Sac State next year.
Timmy Chang kind of had a tough start at his alma mater, but has brought them around. They were really respectable last year.
All-time quarterback in terms of yardage and whatnot, as you see Lerma trying to get the third out of the inning. Instead, it's called a base on balls. But Timmy Chang, obviously, they won the bowl game this year. Played Cal, I believe.
Yeah, and they came back.
Game. But he's talking about Hawaii through and through. St. Louis High School, starting quarterback there, ran the run and shoot, and does a nice job of recruiting Northern California as well.
That was the game. I mean, folks from this area probably remember it for the wrong reasons because Cal was ahead 21-0. Yep. And then Hawaii came back.
With an interim coach, because they had let Justin Wilcox go after the Stanford loss.
That was a kind of a surprising move.
Josh Lepoy now
Tosh Lepoy, who comes from
coach,
the Nick Saban's tree, also was the defensive coordinator at Oregon. He's been in the NFL, well known. Ron Rivera, the GM, making the hire.
I think, if I remember correctly, Tosh was at that game on the islands, and he's already been hired, but obviously with his job starting the year after taking over the team, he was just doing what a lot of coaches do, and that's just hanging out with everyone.
Yeah, he had to get his team ready. Oregon was playing defensive coach in the Orange Bowl against Texas Tech.
Rodriguez takes a strike. Nick Brolovich, who was the interim coach, of course, former Washington State head coach as well, he also has a lot of ties to Hawaii. He's a Hawaii alum.
Former head coach there for a period of time.
Yep. That one just missed. Lerma did not think so. A fastball at 90 miles per hour.
And SMU, who will host the Aggies, with all that oil money going into the Mustang program. They are in the too early to rank rankings at about 24. Aggies will go down there on September the 12th.
Here's the location. Yeah, I think that's the right call. A little high.
Well, Zach Thornton's going out to the mound right now because Lerma, who's gone 1 2/3, got a strikeout, ground out to second base, but has walked the last two. And as the three of us know, the walks can turn around to really haunt the Aggies early on.
And Mason Lerma, usually a guy you can depend on to attack the strike zone, but for a guy that barely allowed any runs last year, this season not quite as dominant. He and Rowan Barnes, the two highest leverage arms for UC Davis, and this becomes interesting how they play this Friday game. Look, we mentioned they need to sweep to have a realistic shot, but if this game gets out of hand, I'm wondering how much they're going to use some of their top arm. Right now it's still a ball game, but they still want to win these next two games, obviously, give themselves a shot the rest of the series. Obviously, they right now are all hands on deck for this game. Here's Jake Redding, who takes ball one. There's Jack Meek, the Aggies' second lefty, and really their only lefty left.
So obviously this game so important, but they can't throw everything at it, which they will if it gets out of hand.
Redding to right. Howard over. This should do it, and it does. Well, the Aggies have buckled down with men on base tonight. That has kept them in the game. Now, can the offense get humming against a guy that is hot as anybody in the nation? Isaiah Magdaleno halfway home, 3-0 Rainbow Warriors. With UC Davis, see there 32-12, and they have won 9 of the previous 10 games, though they have lost here at Dobbins, one of the most memorable wins of the Tommy Nicholson era. They had 6 in his first season, the Aggies, and one of those was a walk-off against the Rainbow Warriors on picnic day. One, J.D. Miko scored the winning run. Don't know what happened to him. Hopefully he's okay.
I think you might be doing some PA work somewhere, public address stuff at like Little League or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
In fact, you might be able to hear his voice pretty soon. I don't know where it's coming from, but J.D. Miko
comes right out of the wall because he's been in this room so often.
So here's Ethan Felix to lead it off. For those who don't know, JD is now the sports information director for a lot of UC Davis sports, one of the 3 SIDs we have here on campus. And he's doing PA tonight. By the way, Hawaii has already gone to their defensive specialist in the outfield. They have changed it to now Ziegler Namoa playing first base. They do this a lot. Ziegler Namoa is now at first. Martin is out of the game. And now the very speedy grad transfer Wright will play in the outfield. That's Gabe Wright. He is in right field. Moa can play all over the place.
I'm not surprised Rich Hill sensing an opportunity with a pitcher who's hot with a 3-run lead to make a defensive stop and hopefully prevent the Aggies from getting some base runners that go to extra bases if they're able to get on. So far, UC Davis just the 1 hit. Kai Maltz double back in the first inning.
Well, this guy, the reigning player of the week in the Big West, because of all the damage he did, very close to where he grew up in Orange County at Fullerton, takes a walk. So Magdaleno issues his first walk of the night, and it's the second base runner that he's allowed and the first since Kai Maltz double, the third batter that he faced. Felix takes the walk. He hit 3 home runs against Fullerton, one of which was a eventual game-winning grand slam in the Saturday game. There, he takes the walk. Aggies will gladly take that.
4 straight balls after the opening strike. Very unusual for him. Had only 1 walk in that previous 1-hitter. And how many rallies have you seen start with a leadoff walk?
Magdaleno a little frustrated with himself there after he let that one go high. Clearly a ball, and to your point, Bob, all 4 of those pitches really not close to the zone.
Yeah. 1-1 and 2-1 were both very low, almost in the dirt, and then the last one wasn't even close.
Yep. I mean, look, it's been an up and down year for Magdaleno. The overall numbers are sensational, but he has been roughed up a few different times, or he has not been able to make it long in outings. Ironically enough, it's because of control. He has struck out double digits batters 3 times, including the 16K performance his last time out, but he also has a 7-walk performance. That came against UC Irvine. That was 4 shutout innings and no hits, but he walked 7 against the Anteaters. That's a dribbler, and this is a fair ball. Picked up by Magdaleno. His throw is in time. Ziegler Namoa able to grab it right before Murphy beats it. Murphy limping a bit, going back to the Aggie dugout. And hopefully he can stay in, but not a great reaction we're seeing from Jackson, who has been one of the catalysts of the Aggie offense.
Yeah, he really took off after that. Didn't get a whole lot on it. Catcher told him to throw over to first, and it looked like he pulled up a little bit short there of the bag, so we'll see if he's able to stay in. He did advance the runner, though. Excuse me.
In essence, a sacrifice bunt.
You know, there just are no pitchers that don't have off days and get creamed every now and then. It just doesn't happen. Look at Paul Skeens, as good as he is. He's had some great outings, and he's been pounded twice.
Like opening day.
Opening day.
Still waiting for the Shohei Ohtani misstep this year.
Well, he hasn't. He's lost 2 games because he didn't get any runs, but he still just lights out at ERA of about 0.94, something like that.
You know, he's, as Ryan Lee digs in, he's slumping with the bat,
Yep.
but he's kind of made up for it because he's been the best pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yep. About 2 weeks ago, I took my daughter to watch him pitch. He went 6 innings, and he was very frustrated with himself. Had one unearned run.
What
lasted
happened?
6
Yeah,
innings.
geez, got roughed up.
And you know what the Dodgers are struggling with is without Mookie Betts in the order, it's and Ohtani not hitting well. They really have struggled with the bat a little bit.
I mean, all they have left after that is Kyle Tucker and Freddie Freeman, and Max Muncy. And I know this is music to Dylan Knight's ears. Dylan's our producer today. This is her first game Dylan producing. She's doing a terrific job, but she also is a fan of a certain team wearing the wrong shade of blue if you're an Aggie supporter. There's a strikeout of Ryan Lee on a changeup. I think he might have, did he think that was out number 3? Potentially. Plays it off well.
The Dodgers have Yale blue?
No. They call it Dodger blue.
Do they have Tahoe blue?
Well, it's a little closer to that. There's the changeup for strike 3, and Lee is 0 for 2. So Felix still at second base. By the way, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up Shohei Ohtani, and Zach Thornton, the Aggie pitching coach. Wooldridge takes a strike. He pitched for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic in 2017. Now, he did not face Ohtani, but they did play Japan. Team Israel was kind of the Cinderella team of that tournament, and they reached the semis at the Tokyo Dome, which Zach by far says is the craziest environment he's ever been in. And he said, you just watch Shohei take BP. At that time, he was very young. He was just coming over to the big leagues, and it was special.
Well, you guys will appreciate this. When he won the home run derby, he actually Wooldridge snaps one. That's going to go right to center field, though. And the Aggies get a base runner on, but they're, again, shut down by Magdaleno. So we are through 5 innings here at Dobbins Field. It is 3-0 Hawaii over UC Davis.
Wooldridge hit this ball 98 miles per hour off the bat, and Nahaku almost overran it, but tracks it down, and he gets through the walk, does Magdaleno, still throwing a one-hitter. 6th inning, so on the other side you got Magdaleno, who in what we'll say in normally hyperbolic terms, not right now, unbelievable is the word I would use with what he has done in his last 14 innings. He has allowed all of 2 hits, but only one of them left the infield. The other one was a soft bouncer that just found the right spot. So here is Gabe Wright batting for the first time. He is in the 9th spot in the order, and he came in defensively his last inning facing Lerma. Scott, you were talking about
We were talking about Shohei Ohtani and when he won the home run.
Not just Zach
derby.
Thornton.
He actually, Jason Brown was the person throwing pitches to him. He's a high school friend of mine, played on my high school football team with me, played college baseball at USC. His dad was one of our coaches. I've known him pretty well, still works for the Angels organization, but Shohei picked him and loved the way that he threw batting practice to him. And that night when he won the home run derby, that's who was on the mound.
I remember Adley Rutschman one year had his dad pitching to him.
Oh, why do you know so much about Adley Rutschman, Bob?
Because he's from McMinnville.
Oh, McMinnville, Oregon.
Yeah,
Okay. Not anything to do with where he went to
college.
Yeah. Here is Gabe Wright with a 1-2 count. There's a check swing, slow roller to third. Story on the charge. Gloves the short hop. He's got to hurry. And Felix with a nice pick. And Wright, who can really run, is out by half a step.
My son Mick just texted me that Travis Pisana tonight hit his first Major League home run.
Well, we're going to see a replay here of this game. Right, we'll get back to that in a second. Scott, this is a terrific play by Zach Story.
Comes up, but even a better stretch, I think, on the other side of that. The ball was low by Ethan Felix. Nice job of coming over and making that.
Who has not been all the way healthy really at all in his Aggie careers, and he's out in the field for one of the first times this year. Made that one look easy. This is a fly ball on the infield for right. And Bob, Travis Bazzano and Adley Rutschman, they have something in common, you're saying?
No, Adley plays for the Orioles, and Bazzano plays for the Guardians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking they might have another tie to you.
Adley was born in McMinnville.
They were both number 1 picks.
Yeah, they're both number 1 picks, and Bazzano was born in Australia.
Yeah. Here's Tate.
Not sure what else they have in.
Something about that Oriole orange that reminds me of something
there
about
is,
it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Oklahoma State.
Bob went to grad school or something. 2 outs for Tate Shimau.
All right, I'll say it, Oregon State.
You held out longer than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, once Scott dropped U of A earlier, I thought it was just gravy at this point for you.
Yeah.
I thought Bob had already thrown that in when he said his favorite minor league team or summer team was the
Corvallis
team
Knights.
Corvallis,
right.
But he did not technically use Oregon State, so I owe
well,
him that
and
one.
they've got nothing to do with Oregon State.
Yeah.
Although they do probably play their games.
Maybe stay in their hotels, practice at their facilities a little bit. Yeah.
Well, they probably play. I presume they play at Goss Stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium. Yeah.
Oregon State, they just got some bad news, too. They're presumptive top 3, but really number 1 overall. A lot of people thought their pitcher went down with an injury. He's going to have Tommy John.
Dax Whitney, and it was against Hawaii. And we talked to Rich Hill about it. He said he actually didn't have his best stuff that day against them.
Well, that's probably had to do with it.
Yep, probably so.
I mean, he's still going to get picked very high in the draft.
Yep.
Tommy John surgery is something that, unfortunately, you hear a lot about. People come back from it within about 9 months to a year, and they can still have the same velocity. It's a different surgery than it was when they first did it.
I'm not going to say like a appendicitis
more
routine surgery,
it's more like
but
an ACL tear. Like it used to be you were out for 18 months,
but
now
it's very
it's 6
routine
to 9 months.
For
this
doctors.
was, I think it was a UCL, correct?
Yeah. Ulnar collateral ligament it is, and so far the ulnar collateral ligament for Mason Lerner's been pretty good as he went 3 innings so far for the Aggies, but still all Hawaii, 3-0 behind the arm of Isaiah Magdaleno.
Well, she is just a few years younger than Bob. Bob, you remember what that age was like, right?
I do.
Yeah. You were crawling on the dirt earlier today, too, just like her.
I was.
Yeah. Thought that was a little odd, though. But,
but
That's
what started the trend, I think, is because she saw you do it.
Yep.
How many laps did you get into this morning?
160.
160.
4,000 yards.
That is phenomenal.
Joey Wright leads it off here in the 6th for the Aggies.
I think I might have had 4,000 steps today. I didn't double check that.
First pitch swinging, ground ball to short. Work for Takata.
I get my 10 in. 10.
He's trying to be aggressive there, trying to jump on some of these first pitch strikes because Magdaleno's been all around the zone, but 1 pitch, 1 out will not help the pitch count as Magdaleno is just at 57 pitches, and we're 5 1/3 of the way through the game.
I mean, that is lightning fast pace. 57 pitches at this point in the game. That is uber efficient for Magdaleno. I think that's even a better pace than he was at in his last start.
He's 107 in that last game.
And again, the majority of those, maybe 20 or so of those came in the 9th.
Right.
Today, just 1 hit and a walk. Here is Zach Story, and he looks at another strike. He is just pounding the zone again. That fastball hits the knees. And again, after the 1-hitter last game, if he completes this inning, that would be 15 straight innings of scoreless baseball where he's allowed just 2 hits. 4 strikeouts tonight. Aggies in general do a better job of hitting for contact than UC Riverside.
And there were the 2 hit by Kai Malt. They were not hits.
Second one certainly Deserved to be if it did fall.
It could have been 2 home runs.
Yeah, in a different ballpark. You're right, Bob.
Yep, or even in this one, if it's a little more to the left, the first one.
Yeah, he laced that one down the left field line.
Did that roll back into fair ground? It did not. It is foul.
And, you know, even more impressive than the 2 hits in 15 innings, or 14 innings now, is the fact that they gave up no runs, which is not always that important, but the Riverside game was 1-0.
They scored that 1 run, too, in the first inning.
In the first inning.
Story, very patient batter. Down to the count here. Strikes out on a just filthy changeup. I mean, that thing is almost impossible to hit, especially at the time of night we've been at for the last hour or so with the shadows. And Story goes down.
Of the game. Yeah, Greg, I mean, goes down to a knee. Looks like it's going to be up about the waist and then drops off the bottom. Now the Aggies have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Here's Tyler Howard, who has been the Aggies' MVP offensively this season. Leads them in most offensive categories. And another strike.
I think he caught the third baseman playing a little bit back, and so he squared the bunt a little bit, trying to get a base runner on for Kai Maltz, who's coming up next.
The other thing we saw in the game on Friday, Jake Redding is an excellent pitch framer. He steals a lot of strikes, which Magdaleno does not need a lot of help with, but that might be case in point right there.
I thought it was pretty neat how Rich Hill actually said that was a good pickup by you.
I wasn't going to say that, but you did bring it up organically.
He brought it up, and it was a good pickup from you. It's the preparation that you do. You and Bob. Bob comes in with 2 binders full of stuff, and you've got some kind of typed out notes that for the last 6 weeks. How many games do you watch in a week, you think, Greg?
Of baseball or
just to watch and get prepped for this?
Oh, I try to do. Baseball is a little tougher. They are longer games. I try to get at least one full one in. And the Friday game was easy to watch.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Hawaii and UC Riverside. That's a foul ball. I think that caught some of Redding, the catcher. And it makes it easy to watch whenever we want to watch any Hawaii broadcast. That is just premier production, and Kanoa Leahy is their longtime play-by-play voice. And
they do great. They do great work.
It's an excellent listen.
Yep.
2-2. We see Howard. He really wanted to, but held up.
Well, you're the one that was telling me Cal UC Davis. Watch that on ESPN. It was Roxy Bernstein behind the mic. Roxy, he's versatile.
He's doing a lot of the Cal streams, internet only. That is off the glove of Redding. And now it's a full count, so Howard has worked it 0-2 to 3-2.
This is what we talked to Coach Tommy Nicholson about. You could start 0-2, 1-2, but work the count. This has been a great at-bat by Tyler Howard right here.
To Bob's point, just pitch count-wise, this is a big moment just to make him sweat this inning out. But it's a similar result for Isaiah Magdaleno. Magdaleno Magic has made it to the mainland United States. 16 strikeouts, 1 hitter last week, and 6 one-hit shutout innings again in the books. 6 strikeouts tonight, and he has just dominated collegiate baseball in the last week. The 3 of us, like a lot of people around the country in college baseball, are going to be doing some scoreboard watching both this weekend and next week. So one of the key games for Hawaii, CSUN, and UC Santa Barbara leads them 8-4. And for UC Davis, it's all about today, really, but they are keeping an eye on some of these other scores just to see if they have any backdoor into the postseason as Lerma delivers ball 1 to Ben Ziegler-Namoa.
Well, keep an eye on UC Irvine. They're in 8th place in this 11-team league. They're 10-14. Last year they're 24-6 and won the regular season. But they are playing 3 games against Riverside and 3 games against Bakersfield, 2 teams that are tied for last. If they sweep both of them, they'll end up 16-14. They're ahead, 17-4 tonight? They might want to save some of those runs.
Spread those runs out another game.
Yeah.
It looks like Steele Murdoch for UC Santa Barbara's having another solid night. They're in the 8th inning, and obviously he was an impressive starter that we saw here against UC Davis as we zero in on Mason Lerma, who's now starting off his 4th inning. So at this point, with so much left, the Aggies just want to get innings out of these starters, or these pitchers,
Yeah, and this is also the part of the order they have the 2 lefties, Ziegler, Namoa, and then Nishida, who is due up 3rd. Murdoch, hard to believe the start he had here, probably not his best start of the season because he followed that up 2 starts later. He got a win against Hawai'i where he allowed 3 runs in 5 1/3. And then at UC Santa Barbara, big chopper, right was pulled over. He's got to throw this from shallow right field, and he throws a strike to Felix, and Ziegler Namoa is out. In that start, he went 8 innings, 3 hits, a run. How about 17 strikeouts? Steele Murdoch.
Great play here by Joey Wright as we talk through how good the pitching has been in the conference. Joey Wright covering a lot of ground. That was almost the exact same spot where he turned and pivoted and threw a frozen rope to third base, Bob. That makes that even more impressive.
Yep, very much. Almost the exact same spot. You're right.
We asked Joey Wright today about the preseason decision to slide him to second base. He's played shortstop his entire life, but as one of the best defensive players in the Big West, that is ripped by Manalau Kong, who just obliterated another, left his bat at 113, and that's the second time he has hit a ball that hard. The other one, I guess, was just a mile/hour slower. Actually, they just ticked it up to 114.
Yeah, 2 for 4. We had a chance to talk to Joey Wright kind of today. We had his roommate, Rowan Barnes on first,
Too, yeah.
And Braden Woldridge was on, And we got Joey Wright to come on, and he said, I've never really played anything but shortstop, but Elijah McNeil came in and they moved me over, and it took a couple practices and realized it was coming off a little differently, but that's what the team needed.
And Elijah's a good defensive shortstop, and we know about his huge arm. He's made some excellent plays today. I think still, pound for pound, Joey's the best defensive shortstop on the roster, but it's just because of what sliding right to second and allowing McNeil to play at short. And that is what it has done for the rest of everybody else to fall into their natural defensive positions. Wright could not get to that one, just past his glove. And this one of the softest hit balls of the night, but it ends in a base hit.
Yeah, it looked like Joey Wright was going to get over there and backhand that. Just bounced right underneath it, goes up the middle. So back-to-back singles for Hawai'i as they have an opportunity with runners in scoring position, leading this one 3-0 in the top of the 7th.
Here's Taylor Takata as Nishida gets the hit. He's now 3 for 4.
Pretty impressive the way the Hawai'i batters are approaching their at-bats. They come up and they're either aggressive or have a great eye.
And Takata got the one he wanted there, sends it to deep left, but Woldridge moves over to make the catch.
Big second out for UC Davis right there.
You just have the feeling, right? I mean, 3 runs is a steep enough hill to climb with Magdaleno's pitching, but anything more, and the lights get dimmer and dimmer.
Well, the Aggies have done a good job of getting out of not really big jams, but runners in scoring position 2 or 3 times, including right now.
Yeah, this would be runners in scoring position, left on base 6 and 7 as they left 3 in the first and 2 in the third.
Noah Rodriguez slaps it foul. You mentioned during the break, Scott, that the Aggies, their first 1-2-3 inning was in the last. Actually, that was Bob. Sorry. It was you?
It was Scott.
Oh, it was Scott. Sorry. I get you guys confused a lot. I wanted to contribute to the right person. Don't be offended, Scott.
No, we do look the same. Bob and I are spitting images of each other.
2 handsome fellas.
Yeah, we had free glizzy night the other day. Did you read about the $100 glizzy in Miami?
Oh,
at Hard Rock
I did
Stadium.
see that, yes.
It was called the Golden Glizzy. And it actually had 24-karat gold flakes on it, in addition to caviar.
Of course it was in Miami.
Don't eat those, right?
No, they said it was. They said it was
Edible gold?
Edible gold, and I'm going, what does that mean? Edible? I mean, is it protein or is it fiber? What is it?
Yeah, iron. I don't know. I don't know what goes in gold. Ground ball up the middle. It actually deflected off of Lerma's glove, and it sets it up for McNeil and give Lerma the assist. It'll go 1-6-3, and the Aggies yet again get out of the jam.
Great throw this time by Elijah McNeil. It goes off Lerma's glove. McNeil gets it, fires it over to first. Look at this one right off of it. Elijah McNeil kind of double clutches. No runs. A couple guys get on base. The Aggies still trail 3-0. Coming up in the bottom of the 7th.
This one, they pump faked you. You were ready to unleash your usual serenade of a popular Neil Diamond song. Instead, they went Rihanna.
Yeah, I'm just
Did you swipe right on that? I mean, Sweet Caroline's what we all thought was coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write
why didn't you record Rihanna's song, Bob?
you guys
Rihanna's
want me
great.
to sing it?
Yeah, I know you're
Rihanna
a big
song?
You're a big Riri
Yeah,
guy,
actually,
right?
wait.
Or-
Let me get my phone out and record. This could be good.
Talk to my agent.
I'll talk home, Mick.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's your agent.
He is my agent.
Well,
I'm his agent.
do you guys want the good news or the bad news first if you're an Aggie fan? As not a rhetorical question.
You actually want us to answer?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I see Hawaii's got 3 runs on 10 hits. Is there something on or 9 hits, but they have less 10 runners on base. Is that with the good news, bad news?
That is good news for the Aggies. The other good news is that Kai Malt has hit a couple baseballs extremely hard, and he's accounted for the only hit, and he's leading off this inning. So that's the good news. The bad news is that Hawaii, once they lead on the 7th inning and on, they are check that. I think I was about to read the stat too early. It's actually after the 7th inning. But after the 7th inning, they're 19-0 this year. So we're in the 7th right now.
So in a half inning, you could reread that. We can
Exactly.
Get a read.
If I want to use it for like a broadcast tape, we'll just act like it was organic and I was doing it
or
for the
that
first
one.
time.
I want to see the all-time record of all teams together that led after the 7th inning. What's
most
the
of them
percentage
are really good, but I will say the no losses is rare. And Malt chases another changeup.
It certainly ties the world record.
Well, I can tell you this, as a California Angel or Anaheim Angels fan, they've lost 6 games when they led after the 7th inning, which is why they're in the cellar, and the Sacramento Athletics are in first place.
The YOLO Athletics.
You can't call them
They are not
Sacramento
the
because they're in
Sacramento
West
Athletics.
Sac. Is that why?
They're in YOLO County.
They got the Sacramento uniforms, though.
Yeah,
I don't
Sacramento
care.
uniform.
They're
Oh,
the
sorry.
YOLO Athletics.
You're very West Sacramento,
That should be your
Sacramento
article tomorrow.
purist. McNeil on the first pitch, ropes it into the gap. This is the Aggies' second hit of the night. All the way to the wall. McNeil hits second, and he's going to put on the brakes late. He's got to get back, and the back pick not in time.
I think he was thinking 3 the whole time, and the third base coach said, stay there, and almost got thrown out. Watch him come around.
I
This
think he had a
ball
better
is
chance
smoked.
of getting to third than getting back to second.
Yeah, once he decided to make the commitment. Watch this.
Ooh,
Whoops.
whoa.
Almost turned his ankle there.
Boy,
Got
that
back.
was really close.
Well, obviously, with the 3-run deficit, the most important part is you reach base safely. There's an Oakland A's fan, at least. I don't know if he's a Sacramento A's fan. Rich Hill is coming out, so we'll see. I mean, Magdaleno probably builds up, but he is at that point in the season because he was a closer last year. He has never thrown this many innings in his life. And so we'll see what Rich Hill decides to do. Magdaleno has been very efficient tonight.
76 pitches in the 6 1/3, but just did give up a pretty good. And that looks like Rich Hill is stalling to get a reliever up to warm up.
And nobody warming up.
And that is the Folsom High product, John Akir, who is starting to get loose. John Akir, I beg your pardon.
And the umpire's gone out there, and there's really been
Hill's
no
talking to him
breakup.
and
Yeah,
said,
Hill's
"Hey,
just kind of, hey,
hey,
how are you?
Hey, relax.
Where are you staying? Because this is where I'm staying. You seem very
Well,
calm.
did you expect a guy with the gamesmanship of Rich Hill to be somebody that
Love
runs
Rich.
out to the mound every time?
So much fun to watch.
I forgot to ask him about this during our call. I love the glasses. He's
Yeah.
got the rare glasses where you can just undo it in the middle. I don't know what you call
Oh, yeah,
that.
the magnets. The magnet in the middle, and you
glasses,
take them back. Yeah.
That's
No,
a good look.
That's somebody who worked on my
I thought that meant
Well,
your
we're-
glasses were broken.
no, it's actually a magnet. They pull
Yeah.
them around, they hang
Really?
them around your neck.
One of the kids stepped on him.
Felix with a mighty hack and a foul tip. So obviously he remains in, but at this point, leash probably not that long with this good Hawaii bullpen getting ready, and it's a Kyer in the bullpen. McNeil again, he was a little too close for comfort getting back.
You're trailing 3-0. You don't need to get picked off second base, not with Ethan Felix up, who got on by a walk his last at bat.
See, now that should count as a pitch count, right there.
Well, he wasn't going full effort.
Oh, yeah, he just lobbed it over there.
0-2 the
It
count.
was actually a changeup.
Well, if it was a changeup, I'm not sure if the second baseman Rodriguez would have seen it, or Takada.
Still be going there.
Seven strikeouts for Magdaleno. Felix pulls it to left, but shallow, and Nishida got a great jump. Now McNeil's got to get back again, and the throw just late. Wow, Elijah McNeil's got about 9 lives over there, and Felix with another hard hit ball, 97 miles per hour off the bat, but that was towards where Nishida was playing.
Nishida was playing him up there. If he's playing deep, this is a base hit and a run. This is hit on the nose, right at him coming up. Nishida caught it quick, and good job by getting back for Elijah McNeil.
Nishida got rid of that ball quick.
I mean, you got to have some guts to play Ethan Felix the way he's swinging it that shallow, and it worked out. Murphy takes a curveball for strike one. That's what a well-coached team does.
No, they're a fundamentally sound team to watch. They've made some very, very good plays. They don't run themselves in and out of innings.
And quickly, it's 0-2 to Jackson Murphy, right where Magdaleno likes it. And you can expect steady diet of changeups coming up. This is going to be pitch number 80.
0-2, runner on second base. Huge opportunity for UC Davis to get a run in with a base hit here.
Does throw the changeup. I think I heard the other night 12 of the 16 strikeouts were on the changeup. Tonight it's maybe 7 for 7.
Good block behind the plate. Jake Reading's done a really good job. Obviously, he's got a home run on the offensive side, but it's done a really nice job of managing the pitching so far tonight.
Popped up. Looks like it's playable. Nishida coming in. Going to be a tough play, though, for the shortstop, Takada, who grabs it out of the air and looked good doing it, too. That was smooth. And Takada puts an exclamation mark on the 7th. What a play to retire the side.
Again, a fundamentally sound team coming over.
Probably in foul territory finally.
And it was. And the
3-0.
Aggies get the double. They're unable to get any runs. It's through 7. Hawaii 3, Aggies nothing.
All right, Bob Dunning, it's your time to shine. The flags are not doing much, which tells you not a whole lot of wind at the moment, though it has been gusting a couple times. And again, Bob, we'll put our production truck on the spot here. Clear sky, I think that's fair. 72 feels like 71.
Yeah, that's because of the breeze. You know, it's dropped when the game started. It was 81 degrees. Dropping quickly, it's going to drop even more quickly as the sun has completely disappeared over the Puta Hills, the Coast Range, and it is going to drop into the 60s very quickly. Yeah, it's about a 5 mile an hour. The wind hasn't really been much of a factor. The flag's moving a little bit, but you look at the branches on the trees out left center behind the fence. They're not moving at all.
Tyler Wood, the new pitcher for UC Davis. Wood, who has had an up and down year in relief, but somebody that has good stuff. I think what Tommy Nicholson was telling us is they want to see if Tyler can develop a third option to go to, but he'll throw a lot of fastballs just like that, 91, and it's a strike on the outside corner to Jake Redding.
Give Mason Lerma a ton of credit. He got through 4 innings of work, gave up just the 1 home run, handled himself pretty well, and gave the Aggies 4 critical innings they were hoping to get out of their starter.
And it was the Redding home run. That was the only blemish against Mason Lerma. Remember, Lerma started his career at Davis as the Friday starter, and they eventually moved him into relief. And so he's a guy that has the ability to throw multiple innings. The only downside to that is that he won't be available tomorrow and probably will have limited, if not complete unavailability on Sunday.
Yeah, you got to think if you went 4 innings and threw just 36 pitches, though, in the 4 innings, he might be back available.
Bonanno threw 30 in the first.
You know, many games you'd be happy to give up 3 runs in the first 7 innings against Hawai'i tonight.
Correction on that. Lerma threw 64 and 36 strikes. That's my bad. So
that's
64.
That's a
so
big difference.
he is not coming back this weekend, but he did a great job for 4 innings. Go ahead, Bala.
No, it's
no.
just
Anytime that you can correct yourself, we're here for it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Scott.
Yeah, we
make room for that.
We like corrections. Confession is good for the soul.
I'm Catholic like you. Come on. I went in after you last time. I was there for 45 minutes. What's going on?
Really? Bob was in there double the time.
That's what I mean. I was just in there waiting. And then, who's in there? And then Dunning comes out.
Yeah.
I said, you guys swimming together?
They got into a deep conversation, I think. Here's a walk to Redding.
Really?
Well, as we always say, Bob, one of our favorites on the Aggie team is church mates with you, right?
That's true. Noel
Valdez, yeah.
Yep, I talked to him before the game. Yeah, see him at Mass, Sunday Mass, the Newman Mass for Catholic students. And the big news in the Catholic Church and locally is the new bishop of Honolulu went to Jesuit High School in Sacramento. Grew up in Carmichael, and he's from Sacramento, and he will be the next bishop of Honolulu. Bishop Silva,
that has to be
is
like
retiring.
one of the destinations you're really looking forward to. You put it in there like you're going to go out there to Honolulu. Okay, you're going to have this.
We're really sorry. He was in Seattle teaching at Seattle University. He is a Jesuit.
You think he's watching the broadcast?
Probably is. Went to Jesuit High School.
Or my son is a graduate of.
In Carmichael.
Son went there.
1978 graduate of Carmichael.
So he might be the next bishop at some point.
He is
somewhere.
He's the next bishop.
No, it's Scott Gordon's son.
Oh, Scott Gordon's son.
If I showed you my text messages for my son, you would know he is not going to be the next bishop. Great bunt execution that time.
Well, Ryan Lee had to make a quick decision, and I guess he thought, obviously, the only play was to let it roll foul because he didn't think he had a shot to get Gabe right. Now, as you see him shaking his head, I thought, since this was up the first base line, it's a right-hand batter. If he picks this up, there's a chance.
He ran past it, though, so I think if he'd picked it up clean, he might have had a chance. But he ran past it, and then he would have had to go backward.
Now you got Rich Hill coming up with his leadoff hitter, giving some signals and signs, things that he's known for, controlling the tempo of the game.
I'm guessing the only sign that matters is the bunt sign.
Well, Nahaku, a guy that can handle the bat. And he's very fast. Aggies have to watch him, too, for a potential bunt hit if he is squaring around.
Because Rich Hill's seen the double plays. He doesn't want a double play. But he's also seen some many left on bases tonight. Well, the bunt sign's on.
Felix coming in. They're being a little more conservative at third. This is foul. By the way, the Aggies, to that point, Bob, they have turned the second most double plays in the nation.
Wow.
What a tribute to Elijah McNeil and Joey Wright, what they've been able to do with that. Obviously, they've had a bit of a rotating door over at first base, but they've all been pretty good. But really, Elijah McNeil and Joey Wright have been the catalyst to that.
There's the bunt. Good bunt, too. Wood's going to have to make a perfect throw, and he does. Sacrifice bunt, second and third, one out.
No doubter that time. Squared early, laid it down. The first baseman was charging, so he laid it down the third base line, which was really good. Nice job by Tyler Wood coming off. And then you had Joey Lee telling him where to go. And he got it over to first. Felix does a nice job of bringing it in, but now the Aggies have to contend with runners on second and third and just one out, and the number 2 hitter stepping in.
And with as good as the Hawaii pitching staff is, you have the feeling if the Aggies allow these 2 runs to score, that's almost curtains. And it's Tate Shimau, the hottest hitter in the Hawaii lineup, who swings and misses at strike 1.
So with a 3-0 lead, they were just happy. I mean, happy to get both of them in a scoring position, but they're really happy to get to that guy at third to even a fly ball can bring in that
sac fly or
4th run. You know, the big difference in baseball between 3-run lead and a 4-run lead.
You see how important it is the Aggies are now playing up on the grass, all 4 of them.
Shimau with a bullet right at McNeil again. Wow.
That's another hit taken away, hit right on the nose. And if he's playing back, Bob, that probably gets by him. That was a good move. Now they can back up. There's 2 outs and 2 on.
At minimum, if he's playing back, it's a run.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Everybody's
even if
playing
halfway. If he's halfway, it might be a run.
Right at him.
Ziegler Namoa is going to get an intentional walk, and it's going to set it up for Manalau Kong, who has some of the hardest hit contact we've seen all season here at Dobbins. But they get the right-on-right matchup.
2 for 4, 2 singles.
They did have bases loaded in the first.
Yep.
He has hit a ball 112 miles per hour tonight and a ball 114. That is like top tier if that was hitting the major leagues. 1 strike the count.
Good fastball right on the outside corner. Hawaii has stranded 10 runners.
Aggies would love to make that an even dozen.
I think that 13 if they can get out of this one.
Baker's
Oh,
does
yeah,
it.
you're right. Now they got the guy on base now with the walk.
3 and 10 is now 13.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I was just saying somebody else said it was 12.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I forgot
Wasn't
about the intentional walk. I wasn't watching the game, even though I called it.
You're not aware of Baker's dozen, I don't think.
It's about as hard as Wood can throw at 93, and it missed the outside corner.
Big pitch coming up. What's that smile for?
He's loose.
Yeah, I guess so. He was. I don't know. Maybe he and Ryan Lee were having a conversation.
Well, the bat sounds different coming off this guy's bat. And now it's a 3-1 count.
It's the one problem with loading them up.
You better throw strikes.
You better throw strikes.
And he already has a walk in the inning to Redding.
Honestly, I think you're taking all the way.
Oh, 100%. And he's struggling to find the zone. You have a good eye. You have 2 hits. I think you're looking the whole way. You're going to make him beat you.
He is, and it just misses.
4 straight balls. First pitch was a strike. And boy, that make him pay for that intentional walk right there.
All of the last 3 pitches on a 1-1 count were in the exact same location off the place. There was no adjustment made in any way.
Very first pitch was a strike.
Look, I don't blame him for being delicate with Manalau Kong. This guy can do damage, but once he gets to 3 balls, then it's time to see what the hitter can do. And now here's Nishida.
I mean, the last one got tagged and went straight to McNeil. You know, I mean, at some point,
put the ball in play.
Put the ball in play. You know, even with the best hitters, there's 2 chances out of 3 they're not gonna get a base hit.
A brutal way for that 4th run to come in.
Yep.
One of the easiest RBIs you will get. Bases loaded walk.
Nishida's 3 for 4. And that one just missed. Not going to get the borderline calls.
Flip the coin! Let's go! Holy cow!
Glad we have PG-rated fans tonight. There's a bouncing ball to third. Story wings it over, and Felix using all that size to grab it, and that will retire the side. So the Aggies get out of the inning again. They limit the damage, but another key run comes in for Hawaii, who can use all the help they can right now, as Isaiah Magdaleno is coming right back out after 7 shutout innings. He has not needed much run support tonight. Only 1 so far. He's gotten 4 runs. 2 came within the first 4 batters of the night, and then a home run to the 4th by Redding, and they just got a run for 3 on a 3-walk 8th inning, sandwiched around a hit. So it's now 4-0 Hawaii, and remember that hit was a bunt single. And Isaiah Magdaleno right back out there.
He's got 8 strikeouts on the night, giving up just 2 hits for the Aggies. They've only stranded 3 batters. You go back to Hawaii, it's 4-0, but they have 4 runs on 10 hits. They've stranded 13 on base.
Not going to matter unless the Aggies can mount a rally. And Isaiah Magdaleno, right around 80 pitches, gets hit by the first pitch. Ryan Lee didn't act that dissimilar to the player last week for UC Riverside, who was ruled on replay to not get out of the way, but that's the right call. Lee just standing still, and if you're in the batter's box or standing still, you get hit by a pitch. This is the call.
Yeah, that's not going to leave a mark. He'll be fine, and now the Aggies have a base runner on, and that brings up Braden Woldridge.
I mean, that on the replay, we've seen that get called, though, because he had a little bit of an elbow tilt. But the Aggies will take it.
He turned it a little bit, though. I mean, you're right. If he just stayed there directly, I could see that going the other way.
Come on, Blue. Pull it together.
We have some vociferous fans here.
Woldridge towards the hole. Sliding stop Takata. And his throw is late. Woldridge can run, and the Aggies have their best rally of the night. 3rd hit. Woldridge with a ground ball towards the hole, and now it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And it'll bring up Joey Wright.
A great job. Shortstop is shading over to try to get the double play, so he hit it in a perfect spot. Kind of bobbled it a little bit, but Woldridge is an outstanding athlete, runs well. So now the Aggies, who trail this one 4-0, have runners on 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And Joey Wright, arguably one of the hottest hitters for UC Davis over the past 3 weeks.
Redding's coming out. This might be more of a stalling tactic because Rich Hill still in the dugout for now, but again, we saw John Akire in the bullpen. Again, Folsom High products. He's made multiple stops. Last one was at Texas State, and there he is, and there's their other terrific bullpen arm, Tsubasa Tomi, who's from Tokyo.
Pitch count is up to 86. Excuse me, Greg.
I was just going to say, they got about 3 bullpen arms, 3 or 4 guys they use almost exclusively in these conference games. And as Scott just said, Magdaleno still, I'm sure, has got plenty left in the tank. Here's Wright. And he's not waiting around. As Scott also mentioned that the Aggies are swinging early in counts because Magdaleno has been in the strike zone.
They're coming up very aggressive. This is a confident group. Yes, they're trailing, but they feel like they have an opportunity to get back in the game, and they know these pitches are going to be all around the zone.
Right, blast it. Deep down the left field line, hooking, foul.
And boy, does that 4th run look big right now.
You nailed it, Bob, because 3 runs right there. Joey Wright just stepped on this one. Watch this one, guys. This is just foul.
And it turns. Look at that. Oh, man, all the way it looks like it's going to be good.
That would have played it, too, and put him on second base. They probably would have pulled Magdaleno with the top of the order coming up, but instead it's just a long strike, but really a confident swing by Joey Wright.
Well, he tried to sneak a curveball in, and Joey was just ahead of it. I would not expect to see another curveball during this at-bat. Struck him out with a changeup.
Chased it.
Yeah, that was out of the zone.
And now here's Zach Story.
You know, you got an 0-2 count against this guy. That's exactly what you do. You know, you're going to have to chase it. You figure he's coming home.
Well, and that ball moved.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. It's coming out of his release point. It looks like it's going to be in the middle, and then it dies at the end out of the zone. But brings up the leadoff man, Zach Story, 0 for 3 tonight, but an opportunity here with 2 runners on for the Aggies.
Story fouls it straight back. They are attacking early before he can get to that changeup and a 2-strike count. And Magdaleno with now 8 strikeouts on the night after 16 a week ago. 3rd player in Hawaii history to reach that mark. And Story late on a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he was looking changeup or off speed, excuse me, Bob, and he ended up grooving a fastball right by him.
That's 5 straight strikes.
One of which was hit almost 300 feet.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect pitch. Curveball, strike 3 call. Maybe it was a fastball, 87 miles per hour, but it had a little break to it. Maybe he threw some type of cutter, and he found the outside corner. Whatever it was, it froze Zach Story.
The 9th strikeout of the night, 0-2 pitch. You got to hit anything close, and that's too close not to take a swing at.
I think that was it might have been a 2-seamer, actually.
Talk about battling back. The Aggies get the first 2 base runners on, and they've gone back-to-back strikeouts. But now Tyler Howard steps in. He struck out twice, but he is the hottest hitter for UC Davis this season.
That was 6 straight strikes, right, Bob?
Yes, 6 straight. 2 guys on, nobody out, 6 straight strikes.
Howard crushes it out to deep left. If it's fair, it's gone, but another one has hooked. Foul. This one well foul.
You know, Tommy Nicholson told me when they went down and played Cal State Northridge, they had a couple balls that if they're 3 feet the other direction, they would have won the game.
Yep.
And you got to think about it here. There was a double that was just foul, and there was one that would have made it a 1-run game, but it's just a long strike.
Lee and Woodridge still where they were with nobody out. 1st and 2nd, and Magdaleno trying to get through 8 shutout. That was a changeup, a rare changeup that he left up. The ball that Howard hit, which registered on TrackMan, is 380 feet.
2 hits that they've pulled left. They've been foul, but both would have been for extra bases.
Up the middle. It takes a tricky hop and eats up Takata into center field. We'll call it a little Dobbins magic. And it scoots right by the Hawaii shortstop and gets the Aggies on the board. That's a gift.
Same thing that happened the other night against Sacramento State, except on the other side of the diamond. This ball is going to be the 3rd out of the inning, but it bounced right up. Same piece of concrete it hit the other night against Sacramento State.
Absolutely nothing you done. It was probably going to be a force at second or a throw out at first. Routine play.
How big was that? Not only because it got the RBI, but it also brings Rich Hill to the mound.
And they will have a pitching change and Kai Malt will be coming up as the tying run.
So Ryan Lee scores, and as Scott said, it's going to be Kai Malt who represents the tying run, and he just missed hitting one out a couple different times tonight. And one of them was an out. The other one was a double. That was the only hit for the Aggies for about 6 innings. Now they have a 3rd hit. And we'll see if Rich Hill makes the call. I couldn't see if Magdaleno was still in there amid the crowd, and he's going to keep him in.
Yep. Well, he literally worked his way out of the jam. He can't control a ground ball that hits a gopher hole.
Well, as you said, 6 straight strikes to get 2 strikeouts with 2 on, and then a ball that hits, as you mentioned, a gopher hole and gets a run home. So he threw the 3rd out of the inning.
He absolutely did.
This likely is the last batter he'll be allowed to face, and it's Kai Malt who has done the most damage against him tonight. 1 for 3 on pitch number 97, takes a fastball in.
I think Rich Hill wanted to talk to him about how to pitch to Malt.
Yeah, because Malt absolutely jumped on the first pitch in the first inning and smacked the double.
Smacked 2.
Yep. One right out to left field, then one for the double.
I mean, he can tie this game with one swing.
And it looks like Magdalena's really not giving Malt anything great to look at. I don't really think they want to have the bases loaded for Elijah McNeil, who hit a double his last at-bat.
Wooldridge at third. Malt taking all the way. That was the one to hit, but it looked like he was just taking out a fastball right there.
He's seen a lot of pitches. This is his 4th at-bat. 1 for 3 on the night. Hit the ball hard 2 of the 3 at-bats. He's got a runner at first and third. Aggies trail by 3.
Popped up. This is on the infield. Takada gets called off, and it's Shimao who races in to grab it, and that will retire the side. And Magdaleno gets out of the jam. So the scoreless inning streak is over, but Magdaleno magical again tonight. Just the 1 run for the Aggies. It's now 4-1, 9th inning coming up. 4-1. Hawaii leads UC Davis. Again, UC Davis won't mathematically be eliminated if they lose tonight, but we knew coming in likely would need a sweep to have a realistic shot. But they won't be mathematically eliminated with a loss tonight. Still, this one will hurt, and Isaiah Magdaleno, just like last week, just completely shoved today. That is now 17 innings in a week, and he's allowed 1 run.
Yeah, and even that,
I mean,
it was a bad bounce.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. That was an inning, a very interesting inning, almost 2 home runs, and then almost got out of it with no runs, and only a bad hop prevented it.
Yeah, the Aggies got the leadoff runners on and hit the ball the hardest they hit the ball all night, back-to-back batters. It looked like it was going to be a double and then a home run. They could have tied it up, and then a quirky ground ball gets them in.
Taylor Takala leads off the 9th for Hawaii. Well, that 4th run still is
huge.
Big.
Yep.
And 100 even on the night, 100 pitches for Magdaleno. I mean, I don't know for sure that he's done. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
Well, think about this. What did you just learn from Magdaleno? Even though he got runners on and was behind and gave up hard-hit balls, he kept throwing strikes.
That's what you do with a 4-run, then a 3-run lead.
Think about the Aggies. They walk. You can't. You got to put the ball over the plate. You know, they got to make him make a defensive play.
Just threw 6 straight strikes and then gets victimized by a bad hop. I don't see why you're going to take him out. He just really worked out of a jam.
Pitch count is the only reason.
Oh, pitch count would be the only reason.
And he's starting off against Elijah McNeil, who hit it really hard off him the last time.
I mean, they maybe will give him 1 batter and then it'll just be batter by batter. We'll see. I mean, Rich Hill, he told Magdaleno in his last start after he finished it off, again, no-hitter lost in the 9th inning on what was a pretty tricky hop that was not hard contact at all, and this is rolled foul. Rich Hill said, you should take this scorecard and you should frame it.
Yep.
For good reason.
Yep.
And maybe doesn't need to frame this next start, but he maybe should at least take a picture of the scorecard.
Well, you know,
show it to a bunch of people.
16 Ks to me is as impressive as the 1 hitter. They go hand in hand, obviously.
1 hopper to second and right. This time he'll have to handle that trampoline bounce and does so well. 4-3 put out.
So we were talking to Roland Barnes this morning, and he was saying he likes to get out in the 6th inning and drag the infield, and he says that's how he kind of gets loose, and then he'll head down to the bullpen to see if he's needed. But we might have to re-drag it a couple times. There's been some funky
Tyler
bounces.
Wood might be tempted because of his family history. His dad, the ex-groundskeeper at the Coliseum for a very long time, for years and years. And Tyler is always the guy when you're watching the Aggies clean everything up post-game. He's leader of the crew.
Didn't they used to play Major League Baseball at the Coliseum?
Yeah, they did. They
a
did.
long time ago. Charlie Finley and
must have a short left field porch.
Bounced left side by Rodriguez. McNeil takes a low hop and throws a bullet. 2 outs. Well, just to continue putting in perspective what Magdaleno did in his last start, he is one of 5 pitchers in the nation in the last 6 years to strike out at least 15 batters and then allow 1 hitter fewer or 1 walker fewer. Wow.
And he also he might be studying
only
political science too, because I think he might have had some discussions out there about maybe coming out, and I think he said, no, I'm good. And he was.
It's probably a rhetoric major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had the camera on him in the dugout his last start, and everybody knew the deal for the Rainbow Warriors. They were not going anywhere near him.
Yeah, nobody popping over to ask him how the game's going. You're throwing pretty well, any of that stuff.
Redding takes a big swing, pops it foul and out of play.
You know, the Aggie defense has been pretty good if you think about the number of runners. Again, 13 runners stranded. And since the first inning, they gave up 2 runs. Really, the pitching from that point on, they've walked in a run and given up a home run. That's it.
More work for Elijah McNeil. Well, that's why this one would hurt all the more, because this has been winnable for the Aggies, but they have gone up against some of the top pitching that the Big West has to offer. And we'll see if it's Magdaleno coming out or the closer for Hawaii trying to clinch this Game 1 win. 4-1, 3 outs to go, and is going to be their closer into pitch. The Folsom High product, Kyer was warming up for a while. He has been the guy that's gotten the most saved, but now they'll go to another terrific arm, transferred from Pima Community College, originally from Tokyo, Japan, and that's Suba Tomi.
That is a circuitous route, no doubt about it, from Tokyo, Japan to Pima Community College, which is right next to Tucson.
About
it's in
Pima
Tucson.
Community College in Tucson.
It happens to be where another world-class university is.
Maricopa County,
Maricopa
JC?
County, that area, and now he's in Hawaii. I mean, this is impressive.
Pima.
Pima
Right there
Community College,
in
right there in
very
Tucson.
southern Arizona.
Well, Isaiah Magdaleno was just spectacular again. 9 shutout innings. He won pretty much every award to be had for a pitcher of the week across college baseball by all the publications and outlets. And he follows that up with not a bad encore. 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, 3 hits, and one of which was an infield hit that could have been an out had it taken a better bounce. He was just masterful again, and he did it efficiently with an even 100 pitches. So that's the good news. He's out of the game. The bad news is they've got one of their top relievers in who's given up all of 6 earned runs in 30 1/3 innings. That's Tomi.
Elijah McNeil, who doubled, hit the ball hard his last at-bat. The Aggies will bring up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters to try to get back in this game. One they trail 4-1.
Aggies just need base runners, and he spins that one in for a strike.
Really need, when you're down 4 and it's your final licks, you really need that leadoff hitter on.
Any way you can get on, get on.
Arguably some of the hottest bats in the Aggie lineup. McNeil, Felix, Murphy, and then if you're an Aggie fan, hopefully more, due up in the inning. And there's a breaking ball and a good one for strike 2.
Really feel like Elijah McNeil is doing this for the team. He's looked at 4 pitches, really has not taken a swing in any of them, but obviously now with a 1-2 count, 3 pitches, he's got to be aggressive.
Rolled weakly up the first base line. Looks like it's going to stay fair. Tomi picks it up and throws him out. Nice play.
Tomi was very cool. He didn't rush the throw, even though it was going to be close.
And the runner could have distracted him going right by him as he was about to pick it up, and he was oblivious to it. He did a really nice job defensively there.
Yep. Very calm. Just make the throw. Yeah, that's a big out.
Here's Felix. Remember, the Aggies had a similar play that Lee let go, and he might have had a lesser chance to get the out, and it stayed fair. Contributed to that run in the last inning. Now, Felix. Tommy, by the way, his curveball is outstanding. It has elite spin, around 2,900, 3,000 RPM, which is almost as good as it gets in college. There's that breaking ball, and that one just missed, 2-0.
I think you saw that in the swing with Elijah McNeil, a little slow roller off the very end of the bat, very uncharacteristic. McNeil known for making solid contact every time. I think the curveball caught him off guard.
See if Felix is taking. He looked like he was, and that's in for a strike.
Felix has been on base once, 0 for 2. Did walk back in the 5th inning. Aggies would love him to get on base here.
This would be his first save as a Rainbow Warrior. 2-2. And he doesn't throw hard either. Mid-80s fastball. But it moves.
Just seems like the Hawaii pitchers just keep challenging the hitters. They just keep getting ahead of them, keep throwing strikes. It's one of those situations you have to beat them. You've got to get your hits in. They are not going to give up a bunch of walks. Only hit one batter tonight, had 2 walks.
Lifted to right, towards the line. Right looks like he has a beat on it all the way. And he makes that catch look easy. And the Aggies, just like that, are down to their final out. And it'll be up to Jackson Murphy to extend the game. It's not an accident. These type of performances by Hawaii, they, by the numbers, have one of the best pitching staffs in the nation. Their ERA 3.60 as a team, which is 7th in the country. That curveball was over 3,000 rotations, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, just 5'6". Doesn't have overwhelming stuff, but has great command.
Well, Redding tried to steal that strike, but it is low, 2-0. The Aggies need Murphy to reach, then Lee's on deck. Wooldridge is in the hole. Feels a long way away, though, for UC Davis right now. Blistered into the gap, right center field. Wright got a great jump, gets there in plenty of time, and seals this one up. For Hawaii, the defensive sub comes up with a couple nice plays. Tommy with his first save as a member of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And this night, once again, all about Isaiah Magdalena. What a week of pitching by the Rainbow Warrior ace.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, not unexpected. Not an unexpected result. The Aggies just couldn't find a hit except in the 8th inning, and then they hit a little bit of help. Struck the ball well a couple of times trying to get back in it in the 8th, and both of them went just foul. But, boy, what a performance.
This Hawaii team is also fundamentally sound to make some great defensive stops. And, you know, if you look at the final numbers, it was Hawaii 4 runs, 10 hits. They did leave 13 on base, but as you said, Bob, UC Davis just could not get the timely hits, and they could not catch up to Magdaleno, who was very impressive. The Aggies go down 4-1.
And the Aggies played good defense. I mean, 10 hits, 13 guys left on base. Could have been a lot worse.
Problem is, not only was Hawaii's pitching good, but their defense great as well. And give credit again to Rich Hill, throwing in Gabe Wright there for the last half of the game. And those were not easy the last couple of plays, and that was terrific stuff. And Hawaii's defense made almost every play tonight. Aggies will have 2 more to try to win this series Saturday and Sunday in their final 2 games of Big West play. But game 1 goes to the Rainbow Warriors For our producer, Dylan Knight, director, Cassidy McGuire, and for Scott Gordon, Bob Dunning, and all our behind-the-scenes leaders, Ryan Sahadio, Sam Alt. Thank you all so much for joining us. The final score is Hawaii 4 and UC Davis 1. So long, everyone.